Hello and welcome to Still Got Legs, a Doctor Who Rewatch podcast brought to you by Another Happy Studios. Old friends and older enemies and some missing bees. This is The Stolen Earth. Hello everyone, welcome to Still Got Legs, the only Doctor Who podcast in the world. There are no others, stop looking right now. My name is Nathan. As always, I'm joined by my companion as we go on this adventure through time and space to watch Doctor Who. His name is Lawrence Thomas Hicey. Hello, sir.
Hello. When the way you said welcome sounded like a Christopher Walken impression. You were like, welcome.
Did it?
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know if you were like doing it on purpose.
No, I was just talking, man.
Oh, well then I apologise.
Welcome. I can't even do a Christopher Walken impression if I tried.
That's kind
so
of how
nice.
You did it, though.
Fell into a bucket of cream.
See, I feel like this is one of your strengths, right? You're like, I couldn't do that impression. Then you pull off a great impression. Right? You're always like this.
I couldn't do that impression, he says, before perfectly executing the impression.
Give me your best Dark Knight Joker.
I hate doing that though. It's such
it's like prodding you, isn't it? Go on, perform, monkey, perform.
There's not even that. It's such a edgelord fucking thing to do.
It's the one that everyone does at parties and you avoid them.
It's like someone who thinks they're good at impressions does the Heath Ledger Joker impression because it's easy to do.
But that's also Christopher Walken though. Christopher Walken's
my father was a drinker.
I'm so glad I've got that. Nathan being an edgelord on a primo recording.
I'm just damaged, guys.
Yeah. I've just got that. Oh God, that Joker. My lord. Hello, Nathan. How are you? Do you love Doctor Who? I do.
I love Doctor Who, Lawrence. I love Doctor Who, and I love you too.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
It's really wholesome. Hang on, say something mean. That was too wholesome for you.
You're a cunt.
There we go. That's better. Now we're back on form.
I'm sure we'll have plenty of arguments this episode, maybe.
Do you reckon? Is there much contentious things?
Well, we'll see, Lawrence, because I have some thoughts.
Oh no! Okay, I'm a bit concerned.
Well, as you should be.
Well, Nathan, you can get into these thoughts because today we're obviously going to be talking about.
Shut the fuck! What are you doing? You're doing this on purpose now. I don't
Maybe
like it, Lawrence.
Yeah.
This is Series 4, Episode 12. It is The Stolen Earth. It was written by Russell T Davies, continuing his hot streak of 12 episodes or whatever, and directed by Graham Harper. That's it. That's all I got.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm on edge now because I don't know what the contentious points are. I don't know what opinions you do have. Will we get to them, or do you want to address them in a general thoughts?
I think it's more a general thoughts kind of thing. Really. Okay.
Give me your thoughts.
Give me yours first. Let me know what you think
give
about,
me yours.
Well, here's what I will say. Last week we had Marvel's What If. Yeah. Sorry, last week we had Doctor Who's Marvel's What If.
Yes.
And now this week we have Doctor Who's Marvel's Infinity War, basically.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
Yeah. So here we are.
Is this getting a certified banger status from Nathan?
Well, what are your thoughts, Lawrence?
Oh no! All right. My thoughts kind of lead into the point I was going to make anyway, is that a lot of my notes today are just recap, right? Because it's a lot of plot. It's a lot of this character. No. It's a lot of stuff happening. For God's sake, listen, right? Because when it boils down to it, the Doctor. I love this episode, right? Before I say any more, but there's not much you can gain from the episode in terms of an emotional standpoint from the Doctor or Donna or. It's not massive for character moments. I think that is paid off in Journey's End, which we're not talking about this week. So it's just a lot of we're jumping all around the Earth, seeing what the Doctor's old companions are up to, and it's a lot of that, and I like it, and it's kind of one of them edge of your seat watches where I'm like, what's going to happen next? But once you've seen it a few times, it does kind of the sheen is a little off of it.
So yeah, I think I'm coming at it from a similar angle because I do love this episode. Like I've always, as you know, like a 2-part storyline, I've always loved these 2 episodes.
I would say a 3-part storyline, but that's
no, you're wrong. I've always loved these 2 episodes, and as a story, I love it. And it's exciting. Like I had a great time watching it. It's great to see all the elements that come together and make it a good story. I don't know if I would call this a certified banger, and I think that's because out of like all the 2-parters we've had, I think this one suffers the most from being a part 1 storyline because
that's true.
Because when I was watching it today, what I was really struck by is there's not a lot to this. It's it's all just setup based, and it's good setup. It's interesting stuff, but it's it's act 1 of a movie, you know?
You're right.
And we haven't had the payoff and everything, and that's part and parcel with 2-part storylines and stuff, but it's just all setup. I was I accidentally pressed one of the buttons on my remote, and the fucking, you know, the timeline thing came up, and I saw I had 10 minutes left of the episode. I was 10 minutes?
Yeah, where's the
Nothing's
plot?
happened. Yeah, literally nothing had. I don't even think the Doctor had got to Earth at this point. He'd still looking for the Medusa Cascade or whatever. And I was what's going on? What?
Yeah,
10 minutes? Surely not. And that's when I start to think there's not much to it. It's all just look at all these things you know and love, and it's great. Don't get me wrong. I like that. I do like, you know, the elements of the episode, but it's not. There's not much in terms of story, really.
As I think you hit the nail bang on the head about it being it suffers from being the first entry in a 2-parter, because it is so much ground needs to be covered before Journey's End. And Journey's End,
does,
right? And again, we'll talk about it next week, obviously, but so I won't touch in on it too much. But it does 2 things incredibly well. 1, it gives you emotional payoffs, and 2, it introduces a new Doctor. I presume that's what happens next week, given the cliffhanger.
We'll spoil it, Lawrence. We don't want to spoil the cliffhanger.
Oh yeah, sorry, silly me. Yeah. No, but I do think that this is if you're a Doctor Who fan,
which I am.
You could and hey, that's a coincidence. Me too. No, but you could watch this a million times, and in the moment watching it, you can still be this is rad. This is cool.
Yeah.
Right,
yes.
Because Murray Gold is absolutely fucking cooking. Right, and you know, Tennant's running around doing some crazy things. Donna's running around also doing crazy things with the Doctor, and it's you're seeing all these familiar faces. You love all these familiar faces. Maybe not the faces of some of the actors that play the faces that you love, but there's an element of it where you go, this is the finale before the finale, right? This is Russell's big sweet send off to his era. Right.
Which and this kind of feels like more of the Russell finale than the actual Russell finale does, really.
Yeah, pretty much, which is strange.
Yeah.
But I think that they wanted more Tennant focus on that episode rather than the era. But this is the goodbye to the era.
Yeah.
Or this 2-parter. And it does absolutely suffer from once, you know, you'll always enjoy it while you watch it, but you'll come away. And I had the exact moment where I looked and it was I had probably about I don't know, 10-5-ish minutes left on it. And I was I looked at all my notes and I was I got nothing, man. Sometimes I have to really dig deep for notes on it. I'm we got a podcast and we got to find something to talk about. And in this, I'm
I don't think it's hard. Look at the time codes of our latest episode. I don't think it's hard for us to find stuff to talk about.
No, but in this one, I'm looking at my notes now and I'm looking at it's the Doctor lands here, Jack's here, Martha's here. Someone else is doing something else somewhere. They're not. I think it's because none of them are together.
Yeah, it's it is a lot of separate stuff, isn't it? It's like I say, it's groundwork. It's establishing where these characters. I mean, you know, you have to imagine that some people will be watching this. So who's this then? So who are these characters? Yeah. Why does Sarah Jane now have a soda pop boy that she lives with? You know?
I mean, from School Reunion, it doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
No, it doesn't. We last saw Sarah walk off with a metal dog, and now she fucking...
Now she keeps him in a black hole.
Yeah. But obviously we'll get to all of that sort of stuff. But yeah, so that's general thoughts. But and I think that like sounds harsh, and like I want to stress, I had fun watching this.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
There are moments from this episode which I genuinely love, and I do love the episode overall. I'm just talking like from like a critical story-wise perspective. It's like it's not much. It's hard to judge it when it's like just this and not the whole story, basically, because it's incomplete, really. So, you know,
to say that this podcast, and not to toot horns, right, but this podcast, from my humble opinion, as one member of the podcast, I think we do two things well. One is argue, and the second thing is like we like to sink our teeth into a big. What does this mean for the Doctor? What is this like? We like to get into the all avenues of where that could go and like how the Doctor would feel about this moment that on a first watch would probably not mean a lot to some viewers that are just watching the show for the first time or don't have a massive love for Doctor Who.
And what suit he'll be wearing while he does it.
Yeah, exactly. And the suit. Yeah, okay, three things. We also talk about the suits far too much. Maybe that's something we do badly. I don't know.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, we hear what people say. So,
yeah. Well, next week we'll not to spoil anything, but next week we'll both get a little treat.
That's so true. It really is the perfect send off for the year. But no, it's yeah, it's just one of them where there's not a lot. I mean, like let's go through it chronologically, otherwise we're going to be summing up the same point.
Yes, so we pick up after last week. You know, there was the whole Bad Wolf End of the Universe stuff. They've raced back to modern day Earth to see what's going on, and turns out nothing. Everything's fine. It's just a normal, average Saturday. There's a milkman here. Doctor loves Saturday, so that's all good. But and then they like go back to the TARDIS to see like kind of what's happening, and then boom, the Earth gets stolen. The Stolen Earth, the title.
Hey, I did the point.
Yes.
You know that meme of the two guys pointing? That's me and you.
The two guys.
You know the two guys that are like, this won't help anything for listeners, but like they're like that.
There's one guy. It's the Wojak.
No, there's two of them. There's two.
No, it's the same guy reversed.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one guy. Yeah.
All right, but then reversing him, creating a second guy. That's still two guys.
It's the Wojak meme.
I'll ask you next week about what you think about two guys. Okay. And we'll see if we have to have this argument. Yeah, he lands in I like that he chooses like a little suburban area. He's like, let's get the lay of the land, see what's going on.
What Cardiff Street shall I land on today? Yeah.
And one aggrieved milkman is like, it's Saturday. What's wrong with you?
This milkman's a bit.
He's quick to get cross.
He's funny, this milkman. Yes, so the Earth gets stolen, but the TARDIS remains where it is, which I like, but it raises questions.
Because, I'm glad you brought this up.
Because so the Earth is gone, but the TARDIS remains in a fixed position of where it was, so it's still like where the Earth was basically. Only there's no Earth, so it's like in the Milky Way galaxy, whatever the fuck we call it.
Yeah.
But then that raises questions as like, but the Earth is constantly spinning and moving, so what does that mean?
I think it means that the Earth has I don't know, you like the way I can describe it is you put half a lemon in a lemon squeezer and twist.
Yeah.
The TARDIS has just ripped its way out of the Earth.
See, I think the TARDIS is probably smart enough to stay fixed to the Earth as it's moving, but once the whole planet mass is gone, then it'll be like, well, that's not supposed to happen.
It probably just phases through some stuff.
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard because you can just say, well, the TARDIS is smart, isn't it? So
yeah. Yeah, but we famously don't do that, Nathan. We want the answer.
It's true, we do. But it does raise some questions. But I do like it. I do like that the TARDIS remains fixed to its galactic point. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you know what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the concept of it. Like, it firstly emphasizes just how strong the TARDIS actually is. It's like, I'm not gonna fucking float. That's for baby spaceships. If I land here, I fucking land here. Right? This is where I'm at.
She's a strong girl.
She is, yeah. And I like the that in general as like a concept. It's quite a scary notion, isn't it? Of just being like, you open the door and the doctor's like, yeah, we haven't moved. It's like, fuck. What does that mean? Yeah. Yeah, I do like that. And I like that in the TARDIS as well. There's this nice moment of it's one of the only nuggets of real emotion that we can get to chew on is that, like,
I don't know.
All right, for now.
Yeah, there's some emotion and stuff, but go on.
Donna is in the TARDIS and she goes, like, everything's going wrong. And they've just obviously come back from Chinatown, the planet where Bad Wolf has gone everywhere and done all this. Yeah. So Ten's obviously a bit stressed. And there's this nice moment where, like, he can't help but Donna goes, but Rose is coming back. Isn't that good? And there's a moment where, like, kind of in spite of himself, he can't help but just be like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, like, he has a little grin to himself. And it almost looks like he's guilty of it because it's like all of this trouble is happening. But he gets to see Rose again. So, like, toss up, is it? Yeah, is it worth it?
And this is all he's wanted for 2 years. We know that about him. He hasn't stopped pining for her since she left. It's
true, yeah.
So, like, as annoying as he's been, it's like, I almost don't want to let him have it because he has been such a prick about it. Yeah. But, like, it's nice, though, isn't it?
I'll be fair, the episode does make him work for it. Like,
it does.
Have that happy reunion.
Yeah. And even when he does get it, we'll get to it. But, like,
might be a different man.
I will see. So that is a nice moment, yeah. But then we get, like, the reactions of what's happened back on Earth, and that's where the crossover starts to begin. Is it Sarah Jane we go to first? I think
it's Martha first.
Is it Martha first?
Yeah, it's Martha.
There we go. Martha, our queen is back.
She is back. She's back.
Yeah.
It's like she never left because she's in most of season 4.
She's in, like,
she's in 4 episodes of season 4.
5 episodes.
Is she in 5?
Yeah. Sontaran 2-parter, Doctor's Daughter, and then this 2-parter.
Oh shit! Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. That's another 2-parter I forgot was actually a 3-parter all along.
Nope.
No, not going to get you on that.
Nope.
Oh, fair enough. I think this maybe gets touched on a little bit later in the episode, but yet again, as I'm reminded of Operation Blue Sky as a go. I think Russell has forgotten what a medic's role is in the military, and it's not to walk around an office being like, "Do what I say, I'm doing."
Well, she's got a promotion now, though, isn't she?
Yeah, but it's still, like, chief medical officer.
Yeah, I know.
Martha didn't just become a general overnight.
I know. But, hey, she's someone of importance to UNIT, though.
Yeah.
I like to think that she is, like, she is a doctor and a medic and someone who will do that sort of stuff when she needs to, and that's her, like, probably, like, kind of... I don't know if I'd say that's her official role. Well, yeah, that's her official role within UNIT, but also because of her experience, because of her her knowledge and experience with the Doctor, then she can also be a general or whatever.
There's like an unofficial level of command that, like, when shit hits the fan, it's like, where's Martha?
UNIT is also, in this era, UNIT is also a lot more military than it is, like, militarized than it is, like, now and more recently as well, because it's like,
it's true, yeah,
it's a lot more science focused, I think. Like,
you do get the soldiers. Famously, there's Hot Soldier that's been recently.
There's Hot Soldier and there is soldiers, but it's like in this era and the classic era, UNIT very much feels like a military organization, like, and that sort of stuff. But whereas with, like, it starts, like, with the Smith era and goes on. I think it then, once Kate Stewart comes about, I think it takes more of a change and, like, a more science first and a more, like, like paranormal sort of stuff first. Like they have the soldiers, but like they're more like just guards and stuff, really.
I do like this era's kind of version of unit though, because when shit like this does hit the fan and you need to fill those stakes, like it is nice to see. Like there's a line, we're jumping ahead a bit, and I don't mean to, but there's a line where the general goes like, "We're at war," and it feels like they're at war. Like it's not just scientists running around being like, something's happening. Like you kind of do need that soldier presence, that military feel to make something actually feel like like the planet gets overthrown in like a couple of hours. Like it's you need to, and like this happened with the Sontarans as well. Like it's a war. You can't have the Sontarans and not show an explicit war, like an all-out fight.
Yeah.
So I do like that, but I do think you're right. I think they do find a healthier ground of being like units, not just for like Greyhound 15 or whatever his name is, and grunts like him.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Who do we go to next? Is it Torchwood next or Sarah Jane next?
I would say Sarah Jane, but I don't know.
I don't either. it's one of them.
Let's say Sarah Jane.
All right.
So we go to Bannerman Road. Sarah Jane is in her attic or whatever.
Yeah. I fucking love that set, by the way.
Yeah, it's a good set.
It is a good set. It feels like someone's actual attic, and then you've just got. Oh, hang on. Do you want a fun peek behind the curtain about how much of a loser I was?
Always.
Thank you. So I had a tire mirror, right, in my room.
What?
A tire. So it was a mirror.
Yeah.
But it was like in the shape of a tire. That was the gimmick. It was like like a bike tire.
So a circle.
Size. Yeah. No, but it had a tire around it. Like that was.
Right, okay.
I didn't just describe a circle as a tire. Yeah, that's probably the universal tire. But yeah, no, I hung that up on my wall. But it very easily came off. It wasn't like really sturdy to the wall. Like I could hook it on and off whenever I liked. And I loved Sarah Jane Adventures so much that I often unhooked this thing that was on the wall and put up little sheets of A4 under, like, hidden behind the mirror with like little computer signs on it and like little screens. And when I was a big loser, I would say to myself, "Mr. Smith, I need you," and then take it off and then like play.
Okay.
If you want to have some fun, because this is probably more damning for me than it is anyone else, but like I am 26 years old, and you can find out when soon to be 27, and you can find out when Sarah Jane Adventures came out and discover whether I was too old to be doing that or not.
You was quite young.
I think I was old enough to not be doing that.
Okay.
That's why I bring up the set. I love the set, and I love Mr. Smith. I think Mr. Smith is one of the coolest fucking things.
Is Mr. Smith ever explained in Sarah Jane, like where he came from or whatever?
Oh, you don't know?
I know the thing.
Okay. All right.
I know there's.
Damn, I was really hoping to get there in 5 years or whatever.
I know there's a turn, but like.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's ever explained like where he came from or whatever.
Yeah, so it's explicitly explained what Mr. Smith is and where he came from.
Okay, cool.
And it's genuinely one of my favorite episodes of all of the Doctor Who world. It's very cool.
I look forward to getting to that then in like 10 years or whatever.
Indeed.
After Classic Who.
Who's Luke, Nathan?
Luke is Sarah Jane's soda pop son.
The fizzy pop boy himself.
The fizzy pop boy, Dr. Pepper Jr. or whatever we said last week. Yeah, but like
Dr. Pepper who?
Yeah, I see. Again, I didn't really watch Sarah Jane. I think I watched the first season of Sarah Jane, and I don't know how much had been out by this point when this episode came on. I think does Luke mention that Clyde and Maria are safe? Because I know like the cast changes because like Maria leaves the show at one point, does she?
I think Maria leaves a little bit into season 2, but yeah,
and then Rani comes in.
Rani comes in, with Rani's hot dad.
Not to be confused with the Rani.
Yeah, don't know what they were thinking with that.
Is that not intentional?
I guess, but like it's not a thing. It's never addressed.
Is it never like okay?
There might be a Sarah Jane line where she's like, "Ha! I knew someone." But anyway. Luke explicitly mentions that Clyde and Maria are safe. I think he says Maria's like somewhere
in Cornwall
abroad.
or something.
Yeah, something like that. But then like there's Daleks in Cornwall too.
Well, they don't know it's Daleks. They don't know it's Daleks at this point, do they?
That's true. Yeah.
It's just that the Earth has moved.
And they say Clyde's safe. He's with his mum.
So there we go. So good old Clyde's mum.
So in other words, Clyde and Clyde's mum are not safe.
Great.
But yeah. So anyway, Luke reckons it was a cross-dimensional transference because he's a nerd and he knows stuff. And Mr. Smith is needed, Nathan.
Mr. Smith is needed, and then Sarah Jane is like, enough of that fanfare, you cunt. Just open up, man.
I have a personal gripe with that moment, right? Because we got through all of Sarah Jane Smith, right, up until this point, with that fanfare just being something that happened. It was cheesy, it was dumb, it was fun, and I loved it every time, right? And then the second they bring him into the real show, the second they have to go. They have to go, oh, what's up with that fanfare? Stop it. Like,
it is a bit much, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but cool. And now it feels too much because they go like, I wish you'd stop with that fanfare. And it's like, no, you don't. You love it. It happens all the time in Sarah Jane Adventures, and she loves it.
Yeah, it is like, it'd get annoying, though. Like, if that was your computer and you you just wanted to check your email or something. Yeah, like, Mr. Smith, I need you. Does the music play? That's what I want to know. Does it play in universe?
I think it has to. If she never, and that's the thing. This was just something we could ignore, but now there's questions because of this episode.
There's steam blowing and everything.
I see what you're saying about like if my computer did that, but my computer's got no right. It's a laptop, right? Like if my computer slowly opened and went, I'd be like, that's too much. But for a big fuck off alien computer in the wall that can move the building, he's earned the right to play a very short jingle.
Fair enough. Hey, I'll allow it. We then move over to Torchwood. Jack is in the Torchwood hub. He's with Gwen and Yanto. Where are the others? Dead.
Yes. And they're all swearing a lot less.
Yeah. So this is one thing I did notice. Like I said, I didn't really watch Sarah Jane, but I did watch Torchwood. Yeah. Maybe because I was like a young teen and I was like edgy, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch the grown-up Doctor Who sex show. Yes. But yeah, it is interesting cutting from the literally made for children fucking Sarah Jane show to the show where like they just regularly shoot aliens in the head and have full-on affairs and sex on camera and stuff. It's a strange crossover to have, but it's fun though. It's very fun.
They do their best. There's still like little references to Yanto being jealous of like someone that Jack met in a bar or something. And there's like little hints at like the Torchwood dynamic, but it doesn't. It feels like Torchwood light. It feels like Mum, can we get Torchwood? There's Torchwood at home. It feels like that.
Well, they obviously can't do the like X-rated stuff. Really.
Gwen rings Reese, and she's like, "Just get my mum to fucking bed, all right? Get her to fucking take her meds. I love you, you big fucking idiot."
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but it is very it's noticeable that they are pre-Watershed.
Yeah, definitely. But anyway, then we
this is all pre-Sting, by the way.
I know, this is literally what I was about to. We're 30 minutes in and we're just getting to the Sting. Like, I think you was worried we won't have anything to talk about.
I know. I mean, in fairness, this is the most stuff pre-Sting ever.
It is very packed pre-Sting, to be fair. So that's when we see there's planets in the sky and everything like that, and everyone's looking up like, oh my god, and everything like this.
Yeah.
And then we go back to our favorite milkman, who has a very strange look on his face.
Well, hang on. First, Wilf bets his pension that it's aliens, but now we can move on to.
I forgot about Wilf.
Yeah.
Is that pre-Sting?
That's pre-Sting. Yeah.
Is it? Oh, well, there we go.
Fucking all of this pre-Sting.
There is a lot pre-Sting.
There is.
All right, so Wilf and Sylvia are also there. But then we go back to the milkman, and then that's why Rose shows up with a big fucking vague sci-fi gun, and
there's two big vague sci-fi guns in this.
Is it?
Jack's got a big one as well. Yeah.
Well, that's a returning gun.
When did that gun come about?
It was in Series 1 when he made it from the defabricator.
Oh fuck me! Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Season 1, a lifetime ago. I was a
Season
different man
1
back
crumbs. Yeah. Yes. What was I saying before you interrupted me?
Rose shows up with her big fuck off.
Rose shows up with her big gun, and then she does her 2 trailer lines, and then she her back to back cool trailer lines.
Yeah.
Right, now we're in trouble. It's only just beginning. and then cocks her gun for no reason. I love it.
Yeah, there's no threat.
There's no threat. She just sees planets and then cocks her gun. I'm like, why? I love it.
Unless she massacres the milkman, but we never see it.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe she just shot that milkman dead in the street. Who knows? But then we get the title sequence, and Lawrence, I asked you last week if you watched the title sequence.
Yes.
You famously, you said no because, I don't know, you're a cunt or whatever.
Yeah.
Did you watch the title sequence this week?
Hard not to.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on screen.
It is, isn't it?
It's like, and this guy, and this girl, and this guy again.
David Tennant. Yeah. And Catherine Tate. And Free Management. And fucking this one. Yeah.
It is funny because they... The way they've done it as well is it's not like they obviously have the effect pre-made, like they and I know they obviously just type in the different name they want, but like they obviously have like an animated preset for it to just go, you know how it goes on the screen and then goes off the screen, and it's funny that to fit the amount that they needed in, it's just sped up. It's just like they haven't altered it, they've just made it go to get on and off quicker.
What else are they going to do?
No, I know. Just little things like it makes me laugh. Whenever I see something that's sped up, I'm like, you lazy.
Lazy.
Make a new preset, Doctor Who. I know your game.
I like how you call them lazy for doing that, but if people knew the shortcuts you take with Caravan of Garbage...
I don't take any with Caravan. I take plenty elsewhere. But Caravan of Garbage gets the primo treatment, all right?
I don't know if it does.
Nathan, stop. They're shortcuts with everything, right?
Yeah. So there you go.
Work fast.
I'm saying those in glass houses, Lawrence, should not throw stones. Okay.
Look, if it does the job, it does the job. I'm just saying, game recognized game. I see a procrastinator, right? And I raise you my procrastination. Okay, there you go. Just 2 slacking guys. Yeah, so this is, for context, I have done a full page of A4 notes.
For context, I have no notes, okay?
God damn.
And I was going to make notes, but I fell asleep. And then Lawrence had to call me because I was late to the recording of the podcast because I was asleep.
Which is very rare. It doesn't happen
Which
often.
is very rare. I'm usually very on time, but that was not the case this week.
No.
So I have no notes.
But that's okay, because I have all the notes.
Okay, great.
And speaking of notes, Nathan, Donna asks all the questions that we should ask, which is, shouldn't the Earth lose the sun? You know, like, shouldn't everyone at home be dead?
Yes.
The answer is yes, but she's forgotten that she's on the show Doctor Who, where it doesn't matter.
No, I think that's there's a good questions to ask, and it's not that it doesn't matter. There are explanations for this.
Yeah,
it's not just like, no, don't worry about it. It's like they do say in the episode why this is the case. You know,
what was the explanation for that one then? I must have missed this one.
It's because like it's been purposefully moved. The planet has been purposefully moved, and they kept the heat in so they can use the planet as part of the key for the fucking universe bomb.
Yeah, I know why they move it, but like, can you just keep the heat in? Is that how that works?
Well, if they can move the planet, why they can move the fucking planet?
This is what I'm saying. There is still hand waving here. There's not like an exact science that they've gone.
Yeah, but you're picking and choosing your hand waving.
It's true. Yeah, I am. Yeah.
You have none of it or all of it. All right.
Nathan, I don't know if you know this, right? But I noticed the plot hole, and that's that the TARDIS can travel anywhere in time and space, and I think that's too outrageous, personally. I don't like the depth that you're giving me.
Because I didn't know what you was doing, first of all, and then I was like, oh, you're doing a joke.
I'm doing a silly joke.
I thought you was just making the most ridiculous point you've ever made on the show.
I would never. And speaking of making ridiculous points on the show, Nathan, we're off to the Shadow Proclamation.
We are.
We've heard about this bastard for fucking years, right?
Yeah.
Or is it the Medusa Cascade, or is it both?
Both, yeah.
Yes, we
haven't heard about the Medusa Cascade for years. A year.
That's enough. Enough of a tease.
Right. Okay.
Do you think this is Russell getting in all of his, like, got to explain this one before I go, and this one as well? Because we go to both in a very short span of time, and they're the two big things that the Doctor keeps mentioning.
All right, no, but, like, Medusa Cascade was a purposeful tease, though, for this.
Yeah.
The Medusa Cascade was a bad wolf scenario. Like, the Shadow Proclamation wasn't like, oh, what's this going to be? It was just a thing, you know?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So off they go. But before we go anywhere, we cut back to Earth, and we're watching, I believe it's Yanto watching on one of the various 28 Torchwood monitors.
First of all, those Torchwood monitors are fucking awful. Like,
they're dreadful.
You know, like with the little keyboard, like that's on like the fucking any keyboard that's on like a mount like that, horrible to use. Like you can even see when they type on it, how much the fucking monitor itself shakes because of course it would. It's attached to the fucking keyboard, mate. Yeah. Horrendous. You have to stand up when you're using it as well.
What happened to good old fashioned desks?
I know. No one can sit down in Torchwood. They're all just stood up using their weird monitors.
Jack's got a desk in Torchwood. I've seen his private little office.
He does. I think Tosh had a desk as well.
Yeah, Tosh is no nonsense. Tosh is not fucking out of this shit.
Not like Queen Tosh. She's not having any of this nonsense.
Owen was either never working or didn't show up.
Maybe. No, Owen worked in his little pit, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Owen had a weird pit where he did
a weird little lab pit, didn't he?
This is where I keep the dead alien of the week that we all shot in the head.
Let's all gather around this table and pull back the sheet on this dead alien we all shot so we can see, so we can look at this dead alien.
And then Owen looks at it and goes, yeah, it's definitely an alien. Right.
And it's definitely dead. Our work here is done. Good job, Torchwood.
One of my favourite things about Torchwood is that it never explains the fact that, like, Owen is a doctor, right? But he's not he's a regular doctor, right? Jack just found him because of happenstance, right? But he was he's a doctor. Aliens have different anatomy. Like, what is Owen gonna do? Like, he's cutting open his dead, and he's like, "Fucking hell, your lungs there, Jesus, all right, well, fuck."
You know what's also brushed over with Owen? His many sex crimes. His many sex crimes are just very quickly brushed over.
Well, he was always a sweetheart, Nathan, and he loved Tosh the whole time. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Yanto is watching Paul O'Grady at 8 o'clock in the morning, apparently.
Yeah.
So that's the thing.
Right, this warrants an emergency show, doesn't it?
Of Paul O'Grady. It warrants an emergency showing of Tea Time Talk Show Paul O'Grady. Look, I love Paul O'Grady, but it's not hard-hitting journalism, all right?
It's true, yeah. Do you know who is a hard-hitting journalist?
Trinity Wells, my queen.
Our queen, yeah. Trinity Wells. She confirms that 26 planets have appeared in the sky, and Richard Dawkins tells us we've travelled. I like that. It's like, it's an inescapable fact. We've moved.
Good.
I always like it when they bring in little people to just tell us stuff. And I do think Paul O'Grady is possibly the best here. What does he say? It's genuinely a funny joke. And like Yanto's supposed to be like, it's supposed to be like obnoxious and inconsiderate that Yanto is watching this, but like it's funny.
Is Paul O'Grady like, I look up and there's all these moons and things. Have you seen them? What was I drinking last night? Furniture polish.
It's a good laugh.
Paul O'Grady is genuinely hilarious. Yeah.
Or was. R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. to a king. He had a great... he had various shows, but all of them were very funny. I used to love watching Paul O'Grady back in the day.
It's always a bit of fun when they come on a show like this as well. Like it's...
Yeah.
Just adds that
throwing a bit of that real world TV.
Yeah, exactly. It makes
they did it in the first series with like Blue Peter and stuff, didn't they?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. They were like, We just had an alien crash in London, so we're making an alien spaceship cake or whatever.
What? I don't remember this.
Do you not remember?
I don't remember them making a cake. Did they make cakes?
They were making a little spaceship cake, yeah.
Okay.
Because the Doctor was trying to watch TV, and there was that kid just like
yeah, the kid wouldn't stop changing the channels or something.
Yeah,
and of course that was taking them to various cultures' news stations, and
yeah,
because that's what happens.
That's what happens
when you change the channel on local TV. You're suddenly watching China's news.
Suddenly, yeah, we now get the American News Network.
Yeah, well, thank God, and thank God we do. To be fair,
exactly. Yeah.
There is a big space station at the heart of the moved planet constellation. Mr. Smith tells us. So does Gwen. They're both.
Yes.
Well, I was like, they're both looking at their monitors. Mr. Smith is a big monitor.
Yes. So very true. Mr. Smith is a big monitor, and he does tell us about
These are the groundbreaking points you need from the podcast.
Yes. But so everyone has their information. Obviously, Mr. Smith is the big monitor. Torchwood have their own Torchwood technology, computers and shit. Unit is Unit. They have satellites. They're all looking at this stuff. Rose walks into a computer shop.
Yeah.
And there's just a laptop open with this screen just already on it somehow. She like stops some muggers or whatever. She stops some guys like looting. But then there's just an open laptop with this.
It's very convenient. There's a lot of conveniences for Rose this episode. Like, there's a lot of things that just fall into her lap that is quite, it's quite good. Good news for her.
Like what else?
Well, like just like landing up. Like who? I had the question: who is Control? Like,
it's a unit, isn't it? Captain Magumbo.
Oh, it's them, is it? And she's.
I think so.
She's able to...
no, or maybe it's Torchwood actually. Because that's a different version of reality. Yeah, it'd be Torchwood back on Pete's World, wouldn't it?
Didn't they disband Torchwood?
No. Well, maybe.
Because fucking Jake and stuff, Mickey went off to do Paris Liberation, didn't they?
No, but they started Torchwood. That was separate.
I didn't know they started another Torchwood.
They already had Torchwood.
Yeah, but... Oh, yes. Yeah, oh, yeah. I'm confusing it with Our World. Normal world Torchwood, yeah. No, you're right, yeah. All right, that makes sense. Fine. Mm. Well, this is still a convenience for us.
Yeah.
And you can't take that away from me.
This is the biggest... I won't say it this way. This is the biggest convenience. Just like, she doesn't even hack in anywhere. It's just already open. It's just there, ready to go. And I'm like...
Is she going into... I mean, but yeah, you say... Yeah, and I understand this, but then like, we have to remember that Mickey... typed in Buffalo 8 times and got through to the fucking nuclear launch codes, yeah.
And access to the world's arsenal of nuclear weapons.
The world's as well.
Yeah.
Because everyone shares, famously.
Yeah. And also he could launch it directly from his CRT monitored computer. He didn't need to put in a key in a Russian submarine anywhere. He just needed to just press enter on his keyboard.
Imagine your laptop froze. Oh, the fuck! They still annoying, innit?
Buffering.
How am I going to start a nuclear war now?
I know.
Did Rose go in to find this information, or do you think she was genuinely aggrieved by people robbing the shop?
It seemed like she kind of just stumbled upon it, really, because she only went into that shop because she heard the looting and stuff.
So there's bigger fish to fry, right?
There is bigger fish to fry, but. You know, she's like the Doctor, isn't she? She wants to help.
The Doctor wouldn't give a fuck about this either.
I think he would.
I don't know. I think he'd intervene if there was like trouble and someone was going to be injured. But like at the end of the world, when the entire Earth has shifted in space, the Doctor's not going to be worried about what two people are doing with the local fucking LG TV.
I think the 10th Doctor would.
Yeah, probably.
I think the 10th Doctor would. I think he likes to feel important, and he'll be like, I'm a nice person, and you're
right. Then what's going on in here?
Yeah,
yeah. No, fair point. All right, your argument.
The 12th Doctor. The 12th Doctor would like help them smash a window, and like the 12th Doctor is very, like. Anti-establishment and very like fucking that's loot. The 12th Doctor's like fucking what's that funny saying? shoplifting is activism.
Okay, right, yeah.
That's very much the 12th Doctor's vibe.
Comrade Doctor.
Yeah, communist comrade Doctor.
All right, but then if Rosie's trying to be more like the Doctor, do you think it's very within the Doctor's character to walk in and go, "Do you like my gun?"
No, that's a bit. Well, it's like a cool line. Well, it's like an 11-year-old's idea of a cool line.
Yeah.
But like, hey, I was almost probably somewhere around the age of 11, and I enjoyed it very much.
That is Rose's trouble throughout this episode. I think she thinks she looks a lot cooler than she does.
It's hard to look cool with that big fuck off gun because
It's
like
too big.
Again, it's like an 11-year-old's idea of what cool is. You know, it's just like a big silver space gun, and it's like the biggest thing you've ever seen. But in actuality, it just looks impractical, really.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We've got End of the Stinking World. That little guy.
Yeah, he's drunk again.
very
8
drunk.
o'clock. He got drunk quick.
Yeah.
He saw those planets at 8 o'clock in the morning and went, "Better pour myself a whiskey, I reckon."
Do you remember the London riots, though? That all happened. That was speedy.
Yeah. Very different scenario.
No, but I'm saying people jump to things quickly.
Yeah, again, very different.
There's not a lot to talk about.
Okay. He says 50 minutes in.
Yeah, I know. Sylvia and Wilf are trying to find Donna, but they can't get through. They can't get through
in
to Donna.
space.
Yeah, she's in space, and
That's why.
her phone's off.
Yeah.
But even if it wasn't off, she's still in space.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my note says, who can get through is Martha and Jack. They don't get through to... they get through to each other. They're on the phone. I wrote this like an idiot.
Yeah.
Martha and Jack have the phone. That's when we get a bit more insight into what Martha's been up to.
Yeah, she's on Project Indigo.
Yes.
Which is the teleport thing, I think.
And Jack is not happy about this because...
No, he's like, that won't work. I fucked a guy and he told me it doesn't work or whatever.
Yeah, and the answer's like, what do you mean? And he's like, never mind.
Don't worry about it. They seem to have an open relationship, though, don't they? Because Jack's always fucking people, isn't he?
Jack's always off fucking people, and Yanto is not.
No,
He's just fucking
it's
Jack.
like very much open on Jack's side.
Yeah. And I think it's open by Jack's choice and not Yanto's choice as well.
Yeah. Because, like, maybe it's not an open relationship. It's just, like, I don't think they'd necessarily committed to each other. Like, it was more just them hooking up, really, wasn't it?
I think so, yeah. And I think Yanto
and also, I
was
think
more...
Yanto was closeted as well.
Do you reckon? Because
wasn't
Gwen
that a
definitely
thing?
knows what's going on.
No, but wasn't that a thing that, like, because he had the sexy cyber girlfriend, first of all.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
But then also, isn't it a thing in Children of Earth that, like, he tells his sister about him, about Jack and stuff?
He might tell his sister about Jack, but I think his sister knew that that he was gay.
I don't think she did, because I think it's like a revelation to her. But it's been a very long time since that, so I don't know.
Yeah, same here. God, I want to watch Children of Earth again now.
Well, you can't.
I know. Oh, it's the worst thing about this fucking show. Can everyone stop listening so we don't do the podcast?
No,
anymore?
Lawrence, don't do that. Don't do that. Stop that right now.
Yeah,
He doesn't
true.
mean that. Stay where you
That's
are.
true. I don't. Anyway, Jack doesn't agree with Project Indigo because it's not about shooting aliens in the head. So,
Great. Yes.
so he's like, I don't understand how is this useful. Anyway, and yeah, I think we finally get to hear the message. They've sent through a message to like all the... Is it all the military things, or is it the Daleks have sent through a message?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Is it? I think it's just to Earth, right?
It's whatever. It's just a message.
It's the plot. They send a plot.
It's
message.
on all open communications. Whatever. They've just sent a message. You know.
Yeah. And not that the communications before this were closed too much because Rose gained access through a local shop. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I tell you what I genuinely really, really like about this episode, and this has always stuck with me.
Can I tell you what I genuinely really like, first of all?
Why not? It seems like an honest and normal way of a conversation to flow. So yeah, go for it.
Yeah, great. So I really like Sarah Jane's reaction.
Oh, fuck you!
Because I knew that's what you was going to say.
Fuck's sake. All right, well, actually, I like everyone's reaction.
No, but I think Sarah Jane's is like the best because she's like got like history with like the Daleks and stuff, and it's and to be fair, Jack probably has more history because he's older. But like
that's true. Yeah,
there's something about the fact that Sarah Jane was a classic companion and stuff. So it's like it's just added weight to it. Really,
it lands that and like and you get that later on as well when Sarah Jane talks directly to Davros and everything else. But I love both. I love the confusion from people who don't know. Like Luke is there, and I think obviously Yanto and Gwen would probably have no idea.
No Daleks showing up in Sarah Jane?
Nah, I don't think so.
Yeah, probably a bit too much for Sarah Jane, really. Yeah.
Exterminating is just silly string.
And I guess that makes sense with her reaction, really.
Yeah, because she's
horrified.
Yeah, absolutely fucking shit up scared. And Jack is as well. Jack just kind of pulls the Torchwood team in and kisses them both on the head. And I've always found that like
gives them a little kiss.
Yeah, there's something I can't. I'm trying to put the words on like how to describe the moment, but it's like it's not like they haven't given up, and it's not like remorseful, but it's like there's something about it where it's like this could go either way. So I'm kind of getting in a hug while I can because it's about to go fucked.
To me, it's just like it just speaks to the threat of the Daleks because they've lost. There's nothing else, you know. Like he even says, we're dead. You know, it's the Daleks. He like last time he fought the Daleks, he didn't win, did he?
No, yeah, and
look what happened.
And last time he fought them as well, like in season 1, he was fighting with people with regular guns, which like I know we've harped and joked and stuff, but that's Torchwood. It's just people with guns.
Yeah,
like, it's like
exactly.
Well, fuck, I guess.
And also the only reason the day was saved was because Rose stood into the heart of the vortex, but also the Doctor was there. Not here now, is he?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and that's another
from
interesting
Jack's
component.
perspective. There's no Doctor. There's no, fucking big saving the day sort of thing. It's just this is what's happening.
Yeah, and I like that. Obviously, we don't get this, and we're not even going to get it in this show. But one of the most interesting components of Torchwood is in Children of Earth when Gwen has an amazing monologue about sometimes that when the Doctor isn't there, she thinks it's because he turns his head away in shame of what the human race do. And like, but more to the point of this episode, it's an interesting concept when like what can these people do without the Doctor? Like, how useful are the companions without the Doctor?
Yeah.
And I do think that like they've all got their institutions and they're all like Sarah Jane not so much, but Sarah Jane, she has a show. They're all divided into their shows, and Martha's got Unit. And they've all got their kind of their team around them. But when and it's all they're good at dealing with relatively low level threats, but definitely threats nonetheless. But then as soon as the Daleks come in, it's like we really need the Doctor or we're fucked here. Like, there's no other way we can do this. They're just two on a different level.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I don't know why, but I laughed because I think it's because we joked calling him a fizzy pop boy last week. But when Sarah Jane's like, my boy, he was so young, I'm like, yeah, he's 1 year old. that boy is a toddler. That boy is an infant. He is quite literally 1.
Okay.
He's a fizzy pop boy.
He is a fizzy pop boy. So the Doctor is at the Shadow Proclamation with a bunch of rhinos and that woman. And then that's when they figure out the sort of like, was it like the something key? I don't know.
The Osterhagen key.
No, not that. Like the planetary alignment sort of thing.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
They figure out like the 27 planets. It all forms together with... Because they talk about Pyrovilia and the adipose breeding planet, Adipose 3, and the lost moon of Poosh, which I love saying. It's a great turn of phrase.
I think David Tennant does too.
He does. Yeah, you can tell. He's got that cadence about him. The lost moon of Poosh.
The lost moon of Poosh.
Yeah, you got to hit that P. Lost moon of Poosh.
Actually, speaking of David Tennant line deliveries, he deserves an Emmy for being able to go... say the Jadoon lines, but for being able to go like bo show ro fo.
Thank you for reminding me. The Jadoon lines. TARDIS translation circuit picking and choosing once again, isn't it?
I've got this note. Yeah.
What's going on there?
Yeah, it just doesn't. It takes a while to set in, I guess, for this time, because then the Jadoon do start speaking English, but they don't assimilate the language like they did in Partners in Crime.
It really does just pick and choose, doesn't
Yeah.
it? That TARDIS translation software. It's just like, well, we'll see.
I think the central question that had to be asked in the production of this episode was, is it funnier if David Tennant has to say a load of rhino words? And the answer is
very
probably
funny.
yes.
Yeah. Well, I like David Tennant going, Mo, so, ro, fo, whatever he does. Foppa Joe.
And then the zoom, Maho.
That's very good. Yeah.
What was that? I like to imagine that being like the Doctor says something and then goes, bitch, at the end.
Yeah.
It doesn't really fit with
like
anything else, does it? Like,
no, that's like one of those like takes off sunglasses moments, isn't it?
You know the Obama mic drop meme?
Yeah. Maho.
Oh, actually, hang on. Speaking of voices, we'll get to Shadow Proclamation in a sec, but I've just realised, looking at my notes, we skipped over some stuff. And we get to see the Dalek ship, because they've all been announced, right? The Daleks all go exterminate, and everyone's like, oh, fuck, it's them.
It's the Daleks.
They have some banger lines. The human harvest will commence is
Ooh,
got to be up there with some they all come in, and the guy that does the Dalek voice gets to show off all the voices that he can do.
Nick Briggs.
Yeah, the last one comes in and he goes, the human harvest will commence, and I'm like, oh,
that's pretty cool. Yeah,
it's cool. And the last.
Do we see Davros at this point?
No, you don't get him for a little bit.
Okay.
You do, however, see the Supreme Dalek.
I tell you what, I think it was 13-year-old Nathan thought the Supreme Dalek was the coolest shit ever.
And I'll tell you why, Nathan. It's because he just might be the coolest shit ever.
It's so fucking cool. It's like a Dalek on steroids.
Yeah.
It's like he's got 3 fucking lights on his head. It's red, it's gold, it's sleek.
He's got like golden prongs coming off of him.
Yes.
Yeah, oh man.
I love the Supreme Dalek, man.
And his voice is deeper.
Yeah, that's how you know he's cool and means business.
I'm pretty sure it's the Emperor's voice.
It is.
I think it's the same voice.
It's all Nicholas Briggs.
Yeah, but I think it's doing the same Emperor voice. Yeah, I love it. I mean, to be fair, right? We don't often...
No.
There we go.
I need to make that one deeper. I'll figure it out.
You get to it. Get to it for next week. The we don't often give Nick Briggs his flowers, right? But he's pulling off bangers, right? Because he's doing Khan, really Supreme Dalek, and all the others.
I tell you what, Khan in this episode as well. Talking about Nick Briggs' performance, so good, man, so good. It's like the fucking, because he's gone insane. He flew into like the Time War. We don't find this out until next week. Spoiler alert. But
no, we find this out this week.
What? They went into the Time War?
Yeah, Davros gives the backstory to the Doctor over Zoom.
Oh, okay. I thought that was next week.
Nah, that's this week.
Oh, I missed that then. Dalek Khan is he's gone insane basically, and there's something about the way he talks. It's like almost like fucking musical, really.
Yeah,
he's got a rhythm about the way he talks, and it's like
I flew.
The Doctor is coming.
That voice sort of where
stuff.
he goes,
yeah, it's great. It's so good, man.
It's a great performance anyway. Yeah. But like often it gets forgotten because of just they're the Daleks. You talk about the Daleks. Yeah. But yeah, good stuff. Anyway, sorry. Wanted to touch on Supreme Dalek, but Shadow Proclamation. They figured out what's going on.
They figured out. They figured out the bees are disappearing. That's a good bit of fun. I do love the moment once it's figured out that like I don't know why, but just the shot of like Catherine running back to the TARDIS and then David Tennant following her. That's just very funny to me. I don't know why, but it's just so funny. Like them just being like, "Oh, we figured it out. Let's go. Let's run back to the TARDIS. Yeah, let's go. Let's go." I don't know why, but it's just funny to me.
So not to speak about an episode 2 recently, but in this episode, it's very funny that Donna goes like, let's go, and Doctor goes, I am, and they're just screaming at each other. And it kind of happens in another episode. I won't even say which one, but like a recent episode where something happens and Donna starts running and the doctor goes, come on. She goes, I'm already running.
Yeah.
It's just that they just have a great in sync mates bond where they can just like they can just say shit to each other and they'll get it and they'll pick up that they're just both being weird.
It's very much like one brain cell duo sort of vibe.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. It's good fun.
Anyway, we're at war, Nathan.
We are at war because they figure out they need to go to the Medusa Cascade, but then the Shadow Proclamation lady is like, well, that means you're under arrest. Then. Yeah. He's like, what? I just figured it out. Pretty stupid of her not to like just immediately shoot him, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very much so. And it's...
I'll just go get you the key. Like, all right.
He's pranking you.
Yeah,
he's doing
you just
a prank.
got played. You just got played, man. Why are you letting him go?
I don't... Oh, my God, hang on. I'm just realising we're combining scenes, Nathan. We're all over the shop. Right?
What are you talking about?
This is... We've skipped over loads of stuff.
Have we?
Yeah, because I wrote this chronologically, and you're right.
Right, we can come back to it.
All right, fine. But that's what I'm doing now.
Okay.
I don't want to leave the Shadow Proclamation until we've done the Shadow Proclamation. Right? People want longer episodes. They're fucking getting them.
Oh my God.
No. We get a few moments. Donna roasts the police captain, weird woman. Tells her that she's just important as a Time Lord. Thank you very much. The Doctor looks impressed, which is a nice little moment.
Yes. To be fair, I do like that moment where Donna's like, maybe not the stuff of legends, but every bit as important as Time Lords because they're all cunts.
Exactly. Donna is. I've put hearing, feeling, a heartbeat, a little. What could that be? Don't answer. I know you know, and I know too. But like,
Okay.
And the bees are. Not all aliens, but some of them are aliens from the planet Majora.
Yeah.
Which is nice stuff. Yeah. Anyway, they move on.
Great. I'm glad we covered all that. I'm glad we stopped dead in our tracks so we could go back and cover that the bees are in fact from the planet Majora.
Well, there's other stuff in between that, to be fair.
That's good stuff.
No, the stuff you described in the scene, there's a whole Earth chunk section in between that and then them leaving the Shadow Proclamation. So there's a whole bit that we need to still speak about.
Okay.
Right? And I'm going to circle back to there, but because we're wrapping up the Shadow Proclamation, I do think it's funny that they just... Like, the police go, oh, you've got a situation. You've found a solution, have you? We're going to arrest you. Just handling things the wrong way immediately, which I like. But anyway, Nathan, back on Earth. Project Indigo is being initiated. The Valiant is down. Goodbye forever, the Valiant, I think.
Yes.
I was thinking maybe it comes back to clear the fog, but that was Sontarans.
We've already done that. Yeah, I'm going to say yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Goodbye forever, the Valiant. Project Indigo is initiated, and Unit is under attack. I really like this when like Jack is on the phone to Martha, and he's like, "Unit is next," and it just feels like it's a wipeout.
Yeah.
Like the way Jack says like they're crossing military targets off their list, it's just like, oh, that feels like a genocide is happening, and I don't know if that's good stuff.
Well, it is.
I know, but that's what I'm saying.
That's exactly what it's not good, Lawrence. The Daleks' whole thing is ethnic cleansing. We know that about them. They have Nazi uniform. Well, they did.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just, this is what I was saying about like the militarization of Unit and stuff. Like when it gets down to moments like this, it feels like a war, and it feels fucked, and you really feel like the Doctor is missing, and it's frustrating as a viewer because you're like, he's trying. He's
not trying hard enough.
No, he's bloody well not. But yeah, Martha is given the Osterhagen key. This is a great scene, and I don't know whether I want to say this or not, but I think we've done this before. We've skirted around it because there are some unfortunate names that we still have to talk about in Doctor Who.
Yeah,
and it's a good performance from John Barrowman.
Well, when Martha uses Project Indigo.
Yeah, and Jack knows what Project Indigo is and basically knows how unstable it is.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Martha does use it and teleport out, I think he just boots the fucking desk that he's next to, and there's something like cold and kind of, it's very obviously upsetting, but there's something quite, he reverts back into this kind of military presence where he says I think he says Martha is down.
Martha's down. Yeah.
Yeah, which is a very cold way of saying it.
She's dead. He basically thinks she's been scrambled into atoms, I think is what he says.
Something like that, yeah.
As far as he's aware, the Project Indigo never got properly working, basically. So, and
that's and before all this, he gets his vortex manipulator fixed and all of that.
After this, that's later.
Is it? Is it later?
Yeah, it's a lot later because he needs to speak to Martha about it first.
You're right. Yeah, because Martha's actually not dead all along.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
If this episode feels like a mess, that's the episode. That's not our fault. Right? We're everywhere in this episode. But yeah, and anyway, the Supreme Dalek then starts having a chat, and out of the shadows comes we see a creepy little hand.
Yeah,
creepy little
hand.
Davros. It is Davros.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still talking about Davros' design in 2023. Maybe not for great reasons.
Yeah, and he was still recently played by Julian Beach, who I think does a great job.
Brilliant
Davros.
job.
Really, it just gets the cadence of it right. He's got this really sinister air about him, and the way he can, I don't know, there's just something about him which really nails this sinister, grotesque, Hitler-esque character, basically.
Yeah. Have you seen? I didn't watch it recently, but I watched it maybe a month or so back. The Confidential of David Tennant seeing Davros in makeup for the first time.
Watched it today.
Yeah, he's such a good little. David Tennant's poking his face, and he's like, "Whoa!"
Yeah. It's very cool. One thing I love about David Tennant is he is the biggest geek for Doctor Who.
Yeah.
He's he seems like a cool guy, like a cool actor who's playing the Doctor and everything, but he is the biggest fucking nerdiest fanboy there is. And that's never been more evident than in the recent for the 60th for the Doctor Who Unleashed, which is the newer version of Confidential. They had the writers and the people who made the Star Beast came to the set, and David showed up and was genuinely starstruck. David Tennant was genuinely starstruck over meeting two comic writers from the 70s.
Yeah. Who are there losing their minds that this is David Tennant, national treasure
and he's
David Tennant.
Infinitely more famous than them, and he's just fucking losing his mind and geeking out. And he's so cute, bless him.
No, that is a cute moment, to be fair. Yeah, he does. He gets so excited for all the little... And that's why I think, he's the perfect Doctor for this era, because Russell is so concerned with bringing back all the oldies. Russell was good at bringing back... they did the Sontarans, the Cybermen, the Daleks, the Master. They pretty much touched every big major one.
Yeah.
David Tennant wasn't there for the Autons, but yeah. Anyway...
Autons not major.
No, weren't they in, quite a big episode?
They're in but it's not major. No one's the Autons, classic Doctor Who villain. You know?
I thought the Autons had a bit of sauce, a bit of reverence to them.
No, they're not. They would. I don't think anyone would class them as an iconic Doctor Who monster. Really,
fair enough.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Clive might.
Clive himself is iconic.
That's true. Back in the day, back in 2008, what did you make of the Davros design?
Do we need to talk about this?
We don't need to, but because I agree with the changes that have been made to keep up with modern times, and I think all of that is...
In 2008, I had absolutely no opinion on the matter because I was a dumb kid.
That's what I'm speaking about from a child perspective. I think it's a well-made design and it looks cool.
And I still think it is. I still think it's a cool design and still think it looks cool. And, the ableism trope that's, it's something we're more aware of now, but I don't think, this should be, I don't think there's anything bad or wrong here. Is basically what I'm saying.
And it was due an update, and the update was made by the same person that conceptualized this version.
Yeah,
or at least an updated version of this character in the early 2000s.
What?
As in, like, Russell didn't decide what Davros looked like back in the old days, right? Back in Classic. But, like, he updated it, and then, since being showrunner and having Davros involved in something else, has reimagined Davros's design to just basically just work towards inclusivity and not making people feel like crap, basically.
I also don't know if Russell's solution is entirely the right option, though. Like,
okay,
I don't know. I think, like, he means well, and it's going about, it's done for the right reasons and stuff. I don't know if it is the correct answer to it. I think there's like, I've seen people bring up like other suggestions which could possibly work better and stuff. But
Russell has done that in the past, to be fair. I feel like he does. Like, and rightfully so. I'd prefer someone overcorrected themselves in the right direction than never changed anything.
The big overcorrection for me, and which worked for the worse, I think, was like overcorrected so much he accidentally became bigoted again. It's like, is the whole fucking thing with choosing not to have David Tennant in Jodie Whittaker's costume.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at, which is...
Yeah, that's like, I get it, but it's ridiculous.
It was catering, it was bending to the will of the bigots rather than having a defiant... Because his thing was like, I don't...
But even... he was saying that, like, he doesn't want to have, like, a man in the woman's costume, because then that becomes a story, and the bigots are then focusing on the wrong thing rather than like a celebration of whatever.
Yeah.
But
the solution to let the bigots win and not see it at all is not the right one. Yeah.
No, but then also in that exact fucking episode, you had Sacha Dhawan in the exact same outfit.
Yeah, it's true. That is very true.
So,
yeah.
like,
I'd never considered that. Yeah, that's true.
So, like, I don't know. It just seems stupid to me, and also I think we were robbed of not having David Tennant in that outfit.
One of my, you know this about me. One of my favorite things is seeing the Doctor in the old Doctor's clothes.
It's a good moment.
It's a fun thing. I mean, Matt Smith's entire vibe for the 11th hour is great fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, good stuff. And also, you get the nice moment where...
And we get to see that brown suit fucking get the death it deserves.
Shut up. No, but you get the... I also think it gives the new Doctor a nice moment of, like, being able to choose their identity for themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
Rather than just...
The reveal of their outfit, rather than it just suddenly appearing on them,
I was so... When I could tell it was David Tennant, I was, like, watching Power of the Doctor, I was so happy. And then when the clothes started regenerating, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I don't want this.
Yeah, not great.
Not great. Anyway.
But there we go.
The Daleks are on the streets, Nathan. They're ordering humans out of their homes.
Or else we just broke our no talking ahead rule, I just realised.
Oh, we did, didn't we? Yeah. Oops.
Yeah. Oops. That's your fault.
Yeah, anyway. I'll claim it. It's fine.
The Daleks are on a Cardiff street.
They are. They're forcing families out. I love... There's some funny Dalek lines, and definitely some next week as well. But I like the line that the males, the females, the descendants. Yeah. I don't know why it makes me laugh.
That makes me laugh too. That's one of those funny lines.
It's just one of them, like, it doesn't translate well over to, like, a Dalek trying to intimidate them.
We got one guy feeling very overconfident. He's like, he's seen the Daleks, like, presumably come in a spaceship and blow up military bases and kill millions of people, but he's like, no, I reckon this brick will work. We will talk about him in a bit, I reckon. Okay. Well, I had a feeling, as soon as I brought that up, I had a feeling that, like, we won't get any further into this conversation, but,
No, I will say that it's... we can talk a little bit. We can skirt around it. I wanted to talk to you about...
it's fine. We'll move on.
No, but not... This is genuinely another point. I wanted to talk to you about the Daleks debuting Attack Formation 7. which is basically just blowing out the windows of a house.
Let's just shoot out all the windows of this house, which has an official Dalek plan in the database or whatever.
And there's no talking. It's not like you take top left, I'll take top right.
Yeah.
I quite like that.
But they also go to maximum extermination, though, as well.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they turn up the dial. Yeah.
Yeah. So it kills them more, I guess.
Yeah, just more death. That's the thing, isn't it? You can't really turn up the dial on a bullet to the head, right?
No. Like, what does that mean? Maximum, like, their regular extermination already kills someone instantly.
Yeah.
So what's maximum extermination? Well, explosive, I guess, but...
Yeah, it double deads them.
Yeah.
Torch would go around maximum exterminating people.
They do. They love that shit. Yeah.
Right. This is something I wanted to talk to you about because I think Wilf has the right idea, right? And I think
with the paint gun?
With the paint gun, yeah, because that's some great critical thinking for a man in a high stress scenario, right? I've not got
We've
much.
Seen that before. Have we seen that before? Where they take out the eye stalk of a Dalek?
Have we seen that before?
I'm pretty sure we have, yeah. I think it was in possibly the series 1 finale.
With what? What do they take it out with?
I don't know. They shoot it, I reckon.
Oh, yeah, maybe one of the people on Jack's little army shoots at it and it goes a bit squinted or something.
Or maybe it's series 2 with one of the Daleks. I don't know, but we've definitely seen it. I'm almost certain we've seen that before.
Yeah. Well, and it obviously... That shows that Wilf has the right idea then. He's like, right, let's give this a go. But then it kind of... what is that thing it can do? It can just melt the paint off?
Yeah, just like cooks it off or whatever.
Yeah, it just sizzles. You could cook an egg on him. You could cook on a Dalek's fucking eye if you wanted to.
I don't think you'd want to. But...
No, he probably wouldn't be too happy about it. It might maximum exterminate me.
Exactly.
But no, I love... Rose does arrive to bail him out. Rose blows the head off of the Daleks. And I loved seeing a Dalek get just shot out like this.
I did have a thought during this moment. They're like, I don't know. I was just reminded of the episode Dalek, where like Rose is like, like just like refusing to hurt that Dalek. And it's just very like, it's not the one pointing the gun at me and all this sort of stuff. And then just hard cut to this where she just blows it up without a second thought. And I understand it's a little bit, that Dalek had changed and stuff.
The
and
circumstances are different, yeah.
Yes, but it was still very funny to me just to think about the difference between those moments.
You could make a great edit cut there. Like,
you really could, yeah.
I never thought about that. That's very funny. Anyway, yeah. So Rose shoots out the Dalek, and I love the little want to swap from Wilf.
Yeah,
very cute. And then we get Sylvia, who I'll be honest. This is the only scene that I was like, I wish there was a bit more of this. Right, I wish there was a little bit. At least we dug into this a bit more. But I understand it's more about what Rose is doing and everything else. But Sylvia finally learns that Donna is traveling with the Doctor and she's out there with all the aliens and in space. And Wilf kind of gives a very quick explanation as to where Donna is.
Yeah. Which I must have been mistaken, but I thought she already kind of got that vibe from the Sontaran episode. But
I thought so too, because you'd have more questions, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
after the Sontaran episode, yeah,
yeah, but I guess not.
No, I guess not. But so yeah, this was something that I kind of wanted. This is the only moment that kind of let me down in retrospect, looking back at it, because Sylvia's whole deal is that she berates Donna for not doing anything with her life.
Yeah,
and to find out that Donna's been doing far more than Sylvia could ever dream of doing with her own life is it's a pretty. And I know something comes in next episode, but it's a pretty big thing, isn't it, to think about? You'd have more of a reaction to it.
Yeah, so, I guess.
So I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I just kind of
no.
Maybe if Donna was there, it'd be a different scene.
I don't. I guess I don't know what kind of point you're trying to make.
Or just a bit more of a thing. It feels like untapped potential for Sylvia's entire deal to be Donna doesn't do anything with her life, and then she finds out Donna's been traveling through time and space.
Yeah, but I guess the way I see it is like, to you that's a big thing, and to me that's a big thing, and to Donna that's a big thing. Is that a big thing to Sylvia?
I think traveling through time and space to anyone is a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, in the real
Sylvia's
world,
like, what? You can't pay the bills with a TARDIS, Donna.
Yeah, but yes.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. I think so.
Get out of my roof. Get out from under me. Go and buy your own house. Yeah.
I still don't think she'd see that as like as valuable as having a job and earning money. She'd think, oh, you're just laying about traveling through time and space or whatever.
Laying about, yeah. Well, I mean, Wilf doesn't do her any favors by saying when she was at that like holiday resort planet midnight. Like, could have named one of the times where Donna liberated a slave race or something.
No, she's at a spa resort.
Yeah, it probably didn't do Donna any good. Anyway, Doctor and Donna, they finally get to the Medusa Cascade. The Doctor came there as a child at age 90.
Yeah.
Funny little joke.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. It absolutely makes sense, but it's one of them funny little lines. I'm like, that would be really old for us.
It would, and the Doctor was probably a lot older than 90 when they actually went there. But that's a conversation for another time.
Oh, is that Russell not understanding the time thing?
No, that's a Timeless Child thing.
Oh yeah. Oh god, yeah. Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can't talk about that.
No, we can't.
So they're at the end of the line. 10 does the 10 thing where he just kind of emotionally shuts off. Like he loses all his bravado and his charm.
So cold. This is awful. I thought
terrible show
Donna
from 10
is having a full-on breakdown. Like, Doctor, what are we going to do? Like, she's so scared, and he's just like, silent treatment, I reckon.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna sit here and I'm just gonna stand here and brood.
Yeah,
and not be helpful at all. And you know what? I'm gonna sit here in silence and stay brooding for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Until I get a phone call, and then I'll jump into action. But until then, go fuck yourself. I'm not doing anything.
It's very it's a poor show from him. Right?
Yeah.
You have the responsibility. The onus is on you, time traveler.
Yeah.
Right? To get Donna out of this scenario.
I'm just going to sit here and sulk, I reckon.
Yeah. Or just like, even if you've got nothing to do, you still have the TARDIS. Be useful and go and land somewhere.
Yeah.
Go and land somewhere and try something else. But when he's like, end of the line, nothing.
Just immediately gives up.
Yeah, which is, it's not very Doctor-esque, is it?
No. It's a bit sulkish. Yeah. I don't like it. It's dumb.
But that's 10. 10 sulks.
That is 10. He's a big idiot.
He is.
What happens next? Is this where we get the subwave?
Yeah, but just before the United Nations, there's a little voiceover.
Gosh, you want to fucking go through every second of this
I just think this is a good little
man?
bit. I like the United Nations surrender to the Daleks over.
Oh, okay. No, to be fair,
that's a kind of a moment where you go, oh, fuck,
yeah,
we're in deep.
They've literally taken over the planet in like hours, if that really. Like, yeah, that is quite a good moment, to be fair.
Yeah, but now that we've gone through the whole episode, as you said, let's move on to the point you were about to make. Yeah, the Subwave Network. Harriet Jones is back.
Harriet Jones is back. Harriet Jones, former Prime Minister.
Yes,
still love that joke. It's a great joke. It genuinely is a good joke.
It's funny every time.
Yeah. Even the Daleks.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Even the fucking Daleks are committed to the bit, and they know who Harriet Jones is. That's great, man. My
wife was sat on the sofa, not really paying half attention to it. And she, as she often does, she'll find the earlier era of Doctor Who a bit too silly for her taste, and she after like maybe the third Harriet Jones, former Prime Minister, yes, we know who you are. she joined in with her own, but instead it was Harriet Jones, former Prime Minister, and my wife went, I fucking get it. And I just think that would be funny if that was the real catchphrase.
Yeah, maybe
someone just gave up. Maybe. Yeah, on Torchwood. And then Harriet Jones gets shot in the head.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and then they shoot her in the head. Yeah.
Oh, we need to never cover Torchwood because every episode would just end, and then someone got shot in the head.
Yeah, that's good fun. Do you remember when that blowfish guy got shot in the head? It genuinely does as well. Like, it just the episode opens with them like chasing this alien, and then Jack shows up and just shoots it in the head.
Wait, there's a pretty pivotal scene in one of the seasons where someone, I won't say who, someone important gets shot. And it's a pretty...
Oh, I think I know who.
Yeah. And then, but the person who shot that person, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh my God, this person's just been shot. And they're all panicking. And Jack just pulls out a gun and shoots the person that shot the other person.
Yeah.
Point blank between the eyes. And you just see a hole created in his head. And his eyes, you see the life go from his eyes. And he falls backwards. And Jack's like, right, now that that's settled...
Maybe I don't know who you meant, because I would have thought you said she, but you said he, so I don't know who.
They're both the person that gets shot and the shooter are both men in this scenario.
Okay, I was thinking of a woman, so I don't know.
I'm trying to think of... Oh, yeah, no, I know what...
Yeah.
It's not that bit. Yeah.
Okay. Well, fair enough.
Yeah. That's also very funny, though.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, anyway, Martha is alive. She's on the Subwave network. Basically, Harriet Jones makes a Zoom.
Harriet Jones invented Zoom.
Yeah.
Like 12 years early or whatever.
And everyone's got remarkably good quality cameras.
They do.
For the era. Yeah. There's no one's on 480p. The invasion and the subsequent surrendering of planet Earth hasn't led to any dips in the Wi-Fi, which is good.
They got better cameras than we do.
They do, yeah, right now, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so everyone joins together. They're all on this. They're all on this Subwave network call. We got Torchwood. We got Sarah Jane. This is when they all kind of like meet each other, basically. And they're like, "Oh, hello, you're handsome. Who are you? Oh, hello, you're Sarah Jane. Oh, hello. I'm Harriet Jones, former Prime Minister."
I like this because it's like everyone fancies everyone. It's really funny. Like, well, you don't get this yet, but Donna ends up fancying Jack. Gwen thinks the Doctor's a bit of a fee. Like, there's all sorts. Like, who else fancies someone? Oh, Jack fancies Sarah Jane.
Yeah.
It's all they're. Hang on, here it is. They're all rizzing each other up, Nathan.
Oh, God's sake. Yeah.
Except Wilf. Wilf is banned from having a webcam because they're naughty.
They are naughty. He's not allowed.
No. Great line.
I was so pissed off during this scene.
Okay, right, go on.
Do you want to know why? I got genuinely angry watching this scene.
Why?
Do you want to know why?
I do.
Because when they're all connecting to the Subwave network, and then it's like, oh, the fourth person is having some trouble come through, and Rose is like, oh, that's me, I'm here. And then Martha shows up, and Rose goes, who's she? And I'm like, what the fuck did you just say? Don't you dare. She is my queen, Martha Jones, all right? And then she was being like really salty throughout that whole scene. Yeah. She was like, well, I knew the Doctor first. So was I. I knew him. And I'm like, shut up, Rose, all right? Fucking hell.
Have you seen that meme where like it's someone in the corner of a party and they're like, I don't like this thing, and then a group of people and then one person turns around with a big thumb up at them. Yeah. And they just ignore it. That's Rose in this scene. Rose is like, oh, I want to be part of the Subwave network, and everyone's like, all right.
No.
Anyway.
You're dead.
Yeah. There is a lot of sniping at Martha unnecessarily, isn't it? And just another fun thing from the show of pitting these two women against each other for no reason whatsoever.
I don't think it does that necessarily. It's just Rose not knowing who Martha is, because she knows who Donna is, and like she doesn't have a problem or anything like that. She just doesn't know who Martha is, and like, I don't know. It's just. I'm probably more defensive of Martha than I should be. I'm just very defensive of Martha.
Yeah.
So like when Rose is just like, who's she? I'm like, well, she's my queen first of all.
You pipe down, Rose, right? We got a lot of love for you, but Martha's been here a minute as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. It is frustrating, especially because Rose could be doing other cool things during this scene, like.
Yeah,
there could be other interesting moments. Like Rose hasn't seen any of these people. Like she hasn't seen Jack in fucking years.
Yeah,
that'd be.
She hasn't seen Jack in a while. She hasn't seen Harriet Jones. Yeah, she hasn't seen Sarah Jane since School Invasion.
Oh yeah. I forgot she's met Sarah Jane. Yeah,
she met them all except Martha. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Harriet Jones stands by blowing up the Sycorax. Good on her, I think. Like, I think her reasoning checks. Like, sometimes the Doctor, like this moment again, even though he is there, but they don't really know it. It holds up, right? Like, I know it was ethically not a great thing to do.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, when you're put in a situation like that where you're not the Doctor and the Doctor's not around and you have to make a decision.
But she didn't have to make the day was won.
No, I know that the day was won, but she didn't know the day was 1-1.
Well, she did though. No, she was saved.
But she didn't trust that the day was saved. And I guess that's on her.
And that's the point. That's on her. That's the whole point.
I know, but like, I don't know. All right, I tell you what, maybe not so much the decision itself, but I like the fact that Harriet Jones, she hasn't come back with her tail between her legs. She's very much like, no, I was right, and I don't care if you think I was wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I'm here, and I'm the person dealing with this now, so egg on your face.
Yeah.
System.
But so they use the subwave network to find the Doctor, basically to call him into the game to join the call, which makes the subwave network then visible to the Daleks, so they're able to find her.
Yes,
and then they kill her. And there's been a lot of talk. Is she really dead? Did she escape? Russell likes to joke that she fell through an escape hatch in the floor and then it drove off on a motorbike.
Okay, you're right. Is that something he said?
That's something he said. Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
But no, she's dead. There's no coming back from that, is there? She's dead.
No, she's dead. Of course, she's dead.
Yeah, she's dead.
And the reason that she's dead is because the camera shut off.
Yeah.
Right? And the camera shut off because they can't show a friendly face that children have sympathised with, just their lifeless bodies slumped to the floor. Like, you can kill extras and you can you can kill soldiers and you can
kill the Doctor.
When do they kill the Doctor?
In this very episode.
Nah, they don't kill him though, do they? He's on the floor and he's all right.
They shoot him.
Yeah, they shoot him, but it skims him because he's the Doctor and that's a new rule. I thought it was any part. We'll get to this. I like the subwave network. I like the cool moments about it. And I like there's little Murray Gold is cooking with that song that goes dun 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 dun. You know that one?
Yeah,
that's a good one. I like the coolness of Mr. Smith's voice when he goes calling the Doctor.
The Doctor. Do you remember? I can't remember what episode it was, but I made a proclamation that anytime a visible phone number appears on screen, I will call it.
I wondered if you would. Go on.
What happens? And I did. I called this number today, and do you know what happened, Lawrence?
What?
This is not a real number. Please check and dial again or whatever. It's not real.
It's always disappointing.
Nothing. Yeah, there was. I don't know if it was ever a real number or it's just a series of numbers they strung together. But
maybe it was every time he rung it, it redirected it to David Tennant's mobile phone.
Maybe
and
that would make perfect sense, to be honest. Yeah, but no. Not a real number, not in service.
That's always a shame. That's always, and it feels like it's inevitable as well. But it is always a surprise. You always wish it could be something like a fun little joke on the other end of the line.
Calling the Doctor.
It's a great line. That very great line.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a great line, is it? It's not like but it's a cool moment. Do you think it's a little one-trick pony of Russell to have the solution be that millions of people across the world reach out to the Doctor all at once again?
A bit, yeah.
It is a bit. I didn't notice it until today, but I was like, that's what we did last time.
He definitely has pulled that one out of the bag before, but whatever.
It is what it is.
It's not as egregious and in your face as last time. It's not the whole world worshipping him as a god, so he turns into a blue force ghost or whatever. Yeah.
Imagine if he sat there just moping with Donna in the TARDIS, and then all of a sudden he just starts glowing blue, and he's like, "Oh fuck." What's going on here?
This again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This again, is it? Yeah. I tell you what I do like though, when the phone finally gets through to the Doctor, and it's quite amusing the way that David Tennant just goes phone,
yeah,
and then slams a stethoscope on it.
Yeah,
it's Doctor Who, isn't it? That's just dumb. That's just very stupid.
That's very dumb. But he connects to the subwave network. He's able to join. Obviously, Harriet Jones is dead at this point. Does he ever find out it was Harriet Jones who set it up?
I don't think so.
No, never knows.
No,
Maybe someone tells him later, but
I think I think next week.
Maybe, but dead now. Anyway,
Mr.
yeah.
Smith
So he joined.
is steaming, Nathan.
What?
Mr. Smith is steaming away.
Okay.
Sorry, go on.
Is this relevant to the point of the Doctor joining the Subwave network call?
Well, yeah, because he's steaming away to make the connection, but I like Mr. Smith's puffing. I love Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith is one of my favourites, right? And I think he's cool. And when he's working hard, I think it should be fairly noted.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't know. Go on.
All right. So anyway,
Yeah.
as I was saying,
Yeah.
he joins the Subwave network call, and yeah, this is when he's able to see the Torchwood. Although he sees a shot of Jack, and he's like, "Oh, that must be the Torchwood team," but it's just Jack.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that must be the Torchwood team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I like Jack's moment of like it is supposed to be set up as like a nice reunion, and Jack's almost pissed off. Like Jack's smile turns into like a frown. And he goes, "Where the hell have you been?"
Yeah, fun little moment.
It is a fun little moment. What happens here? You get Rose looking a bit sad. I like the everyone but Rose line is very sad.
Yes. Well, yeah.
No, you don't think so?
Well, no, it's sad, but it's a little bit hopeful at the same time because he's thinking of Rose, isn't he?
That's true.
Like,
And Rose hears it. That's nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and she like knows that he's thinking about her. So, so yeah, that's true.
But the hopefulness is short lived because someone interrupts the Zoom call.
Yeah, Davros hijacks it, and then everyone's like, "Oh, it's Davros."
And he's like,
and then
"Look
Davros
at
is like,
my flesh.
Look at me, I'm Davros or whatever."
Yeah, and he pulls apart his little costume, and he's like, "Look at my."
Oh yeah, he
body.
does. Yeah, because he made the Daleks from his cells or whatever, so it's like he's got no body left or whatever. So that's pretty fucking gross.
It's gross and it looks great. It's like design wise, it looks really fleshy and gooey, and that like something about that skeleton. Yeah. Just feels.
Yeah,
I don't know how the fuck it's still standing. Like,
what I think there's something about the Dalek, like the chair he's in, like it's life support, isn't it?
Oh, it holds them all together. Does
it?
Okay.
It's a life support system for him, like kind of like Vader-esque sort of thing.
Oh, I see. Okay, so he could never leave it, kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know, to be honest. But he does. I don't think he has any legs at this point. Anyway, I don't think he has any legs because
that probably makes sense. Yeah,
because when we see him later, and like down the line, not like next week. The Doctor like pushes him out of his chair, and he's like, "I got no legs." The Doctor steals his chair.
Seems like a nasty thing to do.
It does, to be honest. Yeah, especially with additional context now.
Yeah, very much so. Anyway, right, I tell you what. While we're talking about Davros, banger line. Your voice is different, and yet its arrogance is unchanged.
Yes,
great line.
Yes,
absolutely great line, and I love that. Like, you kind of see, and this is what you're saying about it helping that Sarah Jane is a classic companion because you just see her go, oh. Like, how scared she was of the Daleks a minute ago. Now Davros is here as well. She's like, oh, fuck. Like...
She was there in Davros' creation. Not the Daleks' creation, sorry.
Is that with Tom Baker? Or
Tom Baker, Genesis of the Daleks.
That's right, yeah.
One of the most famous Doctor Who serials. And one of the few I have seen. And very good.
I haven't seen Genesis. I haven't seen most
You haven't seen any of them? You haven't seen any of it?
No, I've seen. There's one that I've seen. I've seen one, and it was a Tom Baker one, but I can't remember like. And this was years ago, and I watched it like in parts on YouTube.
Okay.
And watched Is Loose as well. Like I was like, "What's this about?" And probably scrubbed through it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I've seen loads of Doctor Who. I'm well qualified to be here.
Sure.
But no, he tells the Doctor the story of how they're around. So like I said, he opens his thing up, but we touched on this earlier, but Dalek Khan has basically zapped himself back in the Time War. He emergency temporal shifted himself. And it's not, Doctor's like, it's that you can't do that. It's time locked. Nope. Doesn't matter.
It's vague, isn't it?
It's vague, yeah.
Yeah, like, first of all, what does time locks even mean?
Yeah.
Second of all,
it's not like we don't feel shortchanged that we could have visited it because we've seen what it did to Dalek Khan.
Well, yeah, he didn't end up it didn't turn out great for him.
Yeah, it's not like it was without risk.
It's completely fried the guy's mind, and he's he's hanging on by a thread, basically.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, dude is insane. But again, great design. I love him like waggling his little tentacles around and laughing, and
it's so.
And I also just love the design. It's like it's reminiscent of the mutated Dalek design we saw in the series 1 episode Dalek, but it's like obviously not as grim and mutated and stuff, and it's like. Wiggling around. I think it's moving a little bit more and stuff. It looks good.
It's great, the tentacles all flailing everywhere when he laughs.
Yeah.
Like it's very cool.
Really cool stuff.
The season 1 one was more like in pain and slow and felt old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm dying.
And he predicts death, everlasting death for the most faithful companion.
L is all I'll say.
Yeah, L, yeah. And not true.
Hence the L.
Yeah. Yeah, it took a yeah.
Lawrence, spoiler alert. Anyway, where next, Lawrence?
Jack dips out of Torchwood.
Great, yeah. He gets his code working again. He gets his vortex manipulator working. Off he goes. Which I think is actually a cool moment because isn't this where the subwave network has been transferred to Torchwood.
Yes.
That means it's now visible to the Daleks. Jack isn't really paying attention to this, and he's like, "Oh, I'm off to go see the Doctor again. It'll be good fun and adventures." Yanto and Gwen realize this, and they're like, "Fuck, the Daleks are coming here." All right, let's get ready, I guess. Yep. And then Jack's like, "I'm off to see the Doctor. See you later. Have fun, guys."
Even under different circumstances, right? Just take them with you. Like they know what they're doing. They can shoot people in the head. Like they.
Yeah, I guess.
And we've seen the vortex manipulator carries 3.
Yeah, it can do, but they've not been on Doctor Who before, so
that's true. Yeah,
they haven't earned the right to be the Doctor yet.
That's true, and that's a lot of people to have in Journey's End as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do like that he's kind of nonchalant about it. He's kind of whisked away with the idea of being like more adventures with the Doctor.
I just really like the scene of just Gwen being just not telling him, just being brave and just being like, "Go, we'll be fine" and stuff like that. And
well, let's not spoil it, but they have it's in a couple of seconds anyway, but they have a great moment where they're just like, they know that their Torchwood have one game and it's shooting people in the head. And when it won't work, Gwen's like, gotta give it a go. And I like that. Like, I know we joke about them shooting everything in their head, but the line she has about, if I'm going out fighting. And then she says some other people that we won't spoil here unless we already spoiled it.
We might have already spoiled it. If not, we've certainly spoiled it on a previous episode.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. Well, but still. She has a nice line that references something that Torchwood viewers will have appreciated. Which was cool. Rose asks Control to lock on to the TARDIS with another teleport shift.
Makes sense to me.
Yep, fair enough. And well, no, you said it earlier. It's probably either a different Torchwood or Magumbo.
It's Torchwood.
Yeah, so there you are. And then, kind of, this is, well, let's talk about it, because I don't think any of us were expecting this scene. What a shock. Kind of a sudden end to David's tenure.
All right, shut up. The Doctor and Donna are able, with the subwave network and that sort of stuff, they're able to land back on Earth. Oh, by the way, fun little moment where the Doctor's talking to Davros and is just like, "I've got one thing to say to you." Bye, which was very fun. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Just a very fun 10th Doctor mannerism. I think just
deflect.
Sarcastic. Yeah, deflect. But that sarcastic bye is very good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they managed to get back to get onto Earth and stuff. And it's I will say this street is very well dressed. It's very like apocalyptic and like like zombie apocalypse sort of thing, like cars and in the street and
we get the tiniest hint of what that is as well. Like it's because we see them earlier kind of cataloging everyone, and all the humans, and we got the gross sense that it was them taking inventory of prisoners. But we find out here that, like, I think it's I can't remember who says it. I think it might have been the Doctor that says it. It might have become a bit later when Jack says it, but they're taking the people for a reason.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Someone says it's quiet, and it's revealed that they're taking the people off, and they don't know why.
I know why.
Which is why. So I too know why. I've seen the next episode.
I have too. Not in a while, but I've seen it.
Yeah, it's been a while for me too, to be fair.
Lauren, shut the fuck up.
Okay.
So Doctor asked Donna, like, when you was in that parallel world of Rose, what did she say? What, any clues, any hints or anything like that? And just this beautiful moment where, like, Donna, you can see her look past his shoulder, and he's like, "Oh, why don't you ask her yourself?" And then we turn around and we get this beautiful piece of music by Murray Gold.
So good.
Like, I think it's Rose's theme, I think. Just subtly coming in on the keys, and it's like, I was giving Rose shit earlier for the way she was treating my queen, Martha.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say I'm a 10 Rose shipper necessarily. Like, I'm not I understand it, and I do recognize that they do love each other. I'm not like anti 10 Rose or anything like that. It's just not like my personal favorite ship in Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But I cannot deny just how
my
fucking
personal favorite ship is Elton.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up now. Okay. Whatever joke about a spaceship or whatever you're doing there, it's been done to death and it's not funny. Okay.
No, it wasn't even that. You missed it. What? I said it was Elton and his favourite slab of concrete.
Oh, okay. I see. Well, even still, shut the fuck up.
Yours was better anyway. I should have named the cool spaceship.
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah, it's just a genuinely beautiful moment. Like, I like, no matter my feelings, like, again, I may not be the biggest fan of 10 Rose as a ship, but I cannot deny, like, they do love each other, and it is heartwarming to see just that smile on his face as they and as well as they let him run towards her in full David Tennant speed. They I don't know if you've seen, like, confidential behind the scenes of it, but they purposefully, like, set up a quad bike, the camera on a quad bike beside him so they could let him run. Because there are some scenes in Doctor Who where you see him running and you're like, that seems a little bit slow. I reckon you can run faster than that.
Go quicker, like, David Tennant. Yeah.
But, like, he's got to, like, accommodate the camera and stuff,
Yeah.
But yeah, they let him properly just fucking go for it, and you really can see him, like, sprinting towards that street, and it's a beautiful moment.
Imagine what Billy Piper sees filming that scene. Just a manic David Tennant sprinting at you at full pace. Just beaming like an idiot.
Yeah.
Quite scary. I would
scary?
Well,
it's so scary. It's sweet.
Oh, yeah, but I don't think he can stop. I think he'd just sprint through me.
No, he's not. He would have, if he could, he would have picked her up into his arms.
Oh, bless. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But he doesn't get the chance to do that, Lawrence.
No, he doesn't. He is caught. There is a very
cut down.
Yeah, there's an ill-timed Dalek that emerges from the shadows, and
it's so cruel. This scene is so fucking cruel, man.
It really is. Rose has been through so much to do this.
I know Russell is like, I'm gonna give them everything they want and then make it hurt even more, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull it away from them at the last second. Like, it's so mean.
That's his strength, though, isn't it? Like, he's good at going, you thought, nah, There we go.
Almost giving you what you want, and then
and then inadvertently giving you a better scene for it. I think. Like, no, because it's all over the shop, isn't it? Like what the Doctor getting shot leads to is a million things, right? Like,
yes,
like the regeneration coming. Donna doesn't know what it is. Jack's only just got there too. There's a Dalek on the loose. Rose goes, I don't want another Doctor. I want you.
But does a million things mean better?
No, but it does expand the narrative potential. It expands the options.
It does, yeah. But
look, I'm saying it would have been nice to see him have a kiss and have a reunion, and they do get that. I think it's a nice when 10, because 10 gets shot down, right? He gets I guess they're not using extermination or maximum extermination on this one.
No, I think they are. I just think he's stronger. He's Time Lord, isn't he?
That's true. Oh, but we've seen the Doctor get stone cold deaded before.
It's all over the place.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. What am I trying to do?
These rules are all over the place, mate.
It does skim him. It like goes because normally it turns the whole body.
It hits his side. Yeah,
it's like the equivalent of getting shot in the shoulder. Like it will take you down, but you'll survive.
Well, it does kill him.
That's true. Actually, yeah.
To be fair, it does kill him. It's just not instant. It does trigger his regeneration.
That is true. Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah.
I hadn't really.
So it is a fatal blow, but it's just he's got a bit of time.
Can you imagine being that Dalek and going back to base? I know it gets blown up, but like imagine a scenario where
I shot the Doctor.
I shot the Doctor, and then the Doctor comes back and he's still the 10th Doctor, and they're like, "You fucking bullshitter!" Like, and he's like, "No, I did."
He didn't get to that. Jack fucking instantly blew that cunt up.
Yeah, Jack, and
I will say, like Jack, those reflexes are so quick on Jack that somehow before he even landed, he knew where to aim. Like the second he landed, he pulled that trigger. Talking about Torchwood showing up and shooting them in the head, man did not hesitate. Like as soon as he landed, his finger was on that trigger.
He's like, I don't know where I'm going, but I know I'm going to be leaving. Right?
Exactly. But he's just there, just ready, just as soon as he landed, just in case, just to pull that.
But he was already like pointing right in the right direction and everything.
That's what I'm saying. It was perfectly aimed. Yeah.
Fucking hell. Yeah, Jack. Well, he's well trained. He's had 100+ years of doing it, hasn't he? So
good thousands, I think, at this point, isn't he?
Oh yeah, probably right. Yeah.
Yeah.
A couple of season or two of Torchwood in. No, probably like 2 seasons of Torchwood in. Must have been.
Yeah, thousands of years.
Yeah. Anyway.
2 seasons have come out, not 3. Yeah.
Yes. I think the 3rd season is Children of Earth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, and it's been a while since we've been able to speak about this, obviously.
Right.
But I remember having a similar point of contention at the end of season 1. I think the Doctor is useless at preparing his friends for regeneration. Right. Donna has no fucking clue. If Rose wasn't there and Jack wasn't there, Donna would be like, what the fuck is happening?
I think I might have said this to you during the season 1 discussion as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think he needs to. I'm with the Doctor on this. Like, why would you want to talk about that?
No, not to talk about it, but as a friend, you'd prepare them, wouldn't you? It's like people write a will.
I'd put it off.
Yeah, that doesn't make it right.
I'm not saying it is, but I'd put it off.
I understand why the Doctor does put it off, but
are you like as soon as you're friends with someone, you'd be like, so look, one day I might get killed, and then I'm gonna be a different person.
I think, given that every single day with the Doctor tends to be life or death stakes, you would mention it.
We know that the 10th Doctor plays his cards very close to his chest anyway. He's a very closed-off person in terms of his, like, how he's actually feeling and stuff. And we know his issues with vanity, Exhibit A, we will say next week.
Yeah. But I don't know what you're talking about. I quite enjoyed Matt Smith's debut.
Shut up. But yes, Yeah, he has. 10th Doctor has a lot of issues. Like, if ever where there was a Doctor that needed to go to fucking therapy, all right?
Yeah.
Then look. Well, first of all of them, but and I think that point is proved by what happens to the 14th Doctor as well.
I mean, yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Yes. So like, he's a very closed off person, and I feel like he just wouldn't want to. As soon as like he becomes friends with someone, he wouldn't want to just have that conversation, because we already know how he feels about it as well.
He's not keen.
Like,
on
he's
it.
not. No, he's not the biggest fan of the idea, is he?
Not particularly. No. And when it comes around, he does throw his toys out of the pram.
We'll see. Look, we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think we've spoken about this privately. What I still think, and I'm still all for the idea of a shock regeneration.
What, as in audience not knowing?
As in the audience not knowing, yeah. As in a well-kept plot narrative secret, like most plot points are in TV shows.
I think we might have spoken about this on the pod. I think so, but I'm against it. No, I like the idea of getting a chance to like say goodbye to them. And
yeah, but do you remember this week?
Yeah, I do.
Yes. No, not this last week. The week that this came out, this episode.
I do. I went on holiday the day after this episode came out.
Did you? All right. Well, you may not have seen all the papers then, but right, this was a fucking manic week, right? There was not like it was front page news across every newspaper. Who is the new Doctor?
No, it wasn't.
It fucking well was.
No, it wasn't.
It fucking well was.
I am telling you now. It 100%.
It was news. It was big news.
No, I do not care. I am not living in a world where a storyline in Doctor Who was front page on the fucking Sun the day after this episode airs.
You are living in a world.
You're telling me The Guardian printed on its front page that the Doctor is regenerating? Are you seriously saying that to me?
Nathan, it is big news, right? And
yes, but you just said headline, the front page of every newspaper.
All right, fine, not every fucking newspaper, but some newspapers, right?
No.
Oh, you're nuts, right? Because this was a massive fucking deal. Think about Doctor Who in its fucking heyday, right? This was like height of its viewing figures, right? Doctor Who.
No, it wasn't. That was 50th anniversary.
Oh, fuck you. You know what I mean. Up until this... All right, sorry. Should the show have gone, we can't cover this because the Doctor Who's going to be bigger in 5 years. And we'll wait then to put it on the news.
That was the peak.
Right, this was a massive point of the show's popularity, right? It was
Saturday
night primetime telly.
I'm not denying that. I'm just saying it's not on the front page of every newspaper the next day because it wasn't.
It was on the newspapers that I saw that at least came out that week. And it was a big thing. It was absolutely a big thing.
I think you might have seen it on the cover of a Radio Times, and then in your head it's expanded to every single newspaper in the country.
I'm going to find these newspapers. Not right now, but I will find them.
Oh, please let me know whenever you do.
And next week we can discuss these newspapers. Right, but why don't you like the idea of a shock regeneration then?
Because it's awful.
Why is it awful?
Because what's the point of it? That's just for shock value's sake. If you're doing things for shock value, you're doing them for the wrong reason.
I don't think no, but like most narrative plot points in most TV shows don't get announced ahead of time. Like,
yeah, that's true.
So how is this any different?
Because
I understand they want the actor to do a press run, and I get that, but you can still say your hellos and your goodbyes, right? Like, if I hadn't known that, I can't talk about stuff in the present, right? Or like the stuff that's not past this point. But like, there's been like the episode wouldn't be changed. The Doctor would still get a goodbye speech. I'm not talking about it happening as sudden as it happens in this episode. You still get your goodbye. You still get your monologue. You still get the speech.
Yeah, but you're unprepared for it then.
Oh, but that's how most, like, I know this is not a great example, but like heights of Game of Thrones season 1, Ned Stark getting his head chopped off. It's supposed to leave you like, oh fuck, that just happened.
Again, I would say when it comes to Game of Thrones, deaths for shock value are not good writing.
Ned Stark's death in Game of Thrones launched
not
the
Ned
entire
Stark.
plot. Yeah.
But there is a lot of Game of Thrones which is like shock value is fine.
And I agree with that, but like these, I wouldn't say like these are all circumstantial, right? I'm saying that the death in Doctor Who was exactly the same. It just wasn't announced in the papers like fucking 2 months before it happened. Like,
no, I think with Doctor Who, you have a lot of people who care very much about these characters and specifically about the Doctor. You have a lot of people who are attached. You know, people have their favorite Doctors and everything like this. And I think it's kind of unfair to just suddenly drop that, you know, if this is your favorite Doctor, then just suddenly gone. Sorry, see you later. I just think that's a little unfair, really. And just for the sake of shock value, I wouldn't really want that. Like I've said Matt Smith is my personal favorite Doctor, and I was glad I had the notice and the build up to his final episode, because it meant, first of all, throughout all the episodes, because I knew it was coming, it could be a celebration of that Doctor.
Yeah,
you know, and you can enjoy that, and you can, you know, celebrate his or hers, their fun moments throughout the series and stuff, and you do get a chance to relive some of that and enjoy what you like about the character. But then you're kind of ready to say goodbye and to move on to what's next. I think with a shock regeneration, there's a danger of then being not very welcoming to whoever comes next as well.
Yeah, I can see a danger of that, yeah.
Which I don't think should ever be the case in Doctor Who.
Yeah, I do see what you're saying. I do get it. I just think, like, I don't know. For me, it's always seemed weirder that they announce it ahead of time. Like, just because that's...
Well, they have to for a number of reasons. Because otherwise it would just be revealed in the fucking press anyway when they see them filming it.
Oh, yeah, but, like, not as early as, like, 2008. Like, that wasn't happening then. Like, this scoop culture and stuff would ruin it now.
There was a lot of stuff that leaked through street filming stuff in Doctor Who in 2000. Fucking hell, I was watching Confidential. They were filming the scene where David got shot for a Dalek just in front of a crowd. They were just behind the barriers, just watching it. Just the crowd on the Cardiff street just watched the Doctor die. And this is like fucking like 6 months before the episode comes out.
Yeah, but like, does that information leave Cardiff? Like, or does it like?
Yes.
Yeah, but it doesn't spread as far and wide as 1 hour on Twitter could do now. Like, it's not.
Well, no, because we're in a very different landscape.
Yeah.
Now.
But yeah, I see your points. I get what you're saying. I just think it'd be interesting to see. I think it could come with pros and cons.
Mostly cons. I'm not a fan of shock value writing. I think it's shallow and empty, and I don't like it.
But stuff that's just plot happening in a TV show, though, isn't it? It's not.
No, it's not. It's not, because there's a difference between stuff happening with reasons behind it and having motivation, rather than just, oh, wouldn't it be cool if they didn't see this coming, and it actually not having any substance behind it other than the idea to do it because it's cool and shock value.
But you're making this up in your head that this would be the case. Like, I'm saying...
But you're saying,
the regenerations would be exactly the same as they are now. We just wouldn't know about it through a press release a couple of months prior.
But your whole argument for this is that it would be cool to not know the shock value of it.
Well, yeah, just because I prefer not to know what's going to happen in a TV show before I watch it. Like, that's spoiler stuff anyway. That's just media in general. Like, I don't want to go into a film that I know the ending of. Like, I understand in Doctor Who it is different because it's a changing of protagonist and it does provide a little bit of thing. But, like, for example, watching The Giggle, and there's different circumstances that made me surprised in different ways. But, like, watching The Giggle, I was just there the entire time being like, he's going to die, or something's going to happen. Like, he's not. I know that he will lose at some point in this battle. Like, do you know what I mean? That element of it, I would love that to not be there.
All I can say to you then is don't watch Doctor Who.
No, I can't, Nathan. I have to do this show.
because no, I never want a regeneration to be, because I tell you what, because every time they do like a fake out regeneration, which has happened a few times, where like, oh, the Doctor's dying, he's regenerating. And, that's definitely not what happens here. It's a full-on pure regeneration.
Obviously,
but every time they do a fake regeneration, I get so fucking anxious. And I'm like, I don't like this. I hate this. What's going on? I want more time with my Doctor. What the fuck is happening?
See, I think that's where we differ. I love that feeling of uncertainty and having no idea what's coming next. Like,
you're a horrible person.
No, I love that. I absolutely love it. Look, all right, tell you what.
You are a horrible person.
Write in. Let us know. What would you prefer? We want to see it in your emails and your tweets. Just add a little extra on, yes, I'd love to see a surprise regeneration, or no, I'd hate that. I'm genuinely curious.
I just think, what's the point? I don't see any plus sides to it.
I think it'd be cool.
Other than the fact that we don't know the Doctor's going to but again, that just makes it worse for me. That's not a good thing.
See, I'm trying to think of like another one-to-one counterpart, but like, imagine you watch a normal TV show, but I told you that in 3 seasons that character's going to die on this episode.
Well, it's different though, because they're not. The character doesn't die. This version of them does. Okay.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
But also, I don't know. Doctor Who's just a different show. It's baked into it that it does change, and that this character does change. If anything, it's just like watching The Crown, and this is a little bit different, but like watching The Crown for 2 series and fucking liking Claire Foy, but knowing that when series 3 comes around, she's going to be played by Olivia Colman.
Yeah, I that's probably the closest counterpart to it, I guess, isn't it?
Like, it's not really a spoiler, is it? Like, we know this is the case.
Yeah, I guess because it's not about the character's fate. But I guess my argument there, and we've gone on too long about this, but like, I guess my argument there would be like, nothing happens to the Queen. The Queen just gets older.
No,
but we
that's
know
fair.
If the Doctor regenerates, it's because the Doctor was killed.
But we know that's going to happen anyway. We know Time Lords have this fucking ability. We know that they regenerate and stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe if I'm going into Doctor Who completely blind from 1963 onwards, maybe then, sure. All right.
Yeah.
But that's not the case, We know that they regenerate. We know we know they have this ability to regenerate. So just doing it for shock value, it's boring to me.
All right. Fair enough. Anyway, good luck, Doctor, Jack says.
Good luck, Doctor. That's another one of our quotes. We say that a lot to each other.
I missed it the first time, and I rewound it back because me and my wife were talking, and I was like, "Hang on, you didn't hear this bit." And I went back 10 seconds.
I need to appreciate this moment.
Yeah, and it's so nothing. I don't know why that's a quote that stuck with us. I don't even think Jack's on screen when it's said.
He's like vaguely. He's like half on screen.
Yeah, it's not his shot.
No, it's like a wide shot of his hardest console room. But yeah, we always say "Good luck, Doctor."
Good luck, Doctor.
To each other.
Yeah, I don't know why we do that, but it's just a quotable thing that we do.
It's just one of those things that are stuck around. Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
He's regenerating.
And then we get the big to
Oh
be
yeah,
continued.
The big 3D to be continued block text.
They knew what they were doing. They wanted those views.
I mean, yeah, they're really like driving up like the cinematic nature of this, aren't they? Yeah, very, very odd, and just completely breaks like the flow of like the music and everything.
Oh, it absolutely does. But I like it. It's cool.
And no next time trailer.
Yeah, I hung around for it and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
literally nothing. Which fair play.
But they don't want to debut Matt Smith in a trailer. I get it. Yeah, and I've got a great episode with him to come.
But yeah, so it ends on the Doctor regenerating, and I guess we'll just have to see what happens next week.
I guess we'll have to see. Nathan, should we do Weirdo of the Week?
I would love to do that, Lawrence.
Weirdo of the Week!
Sorry, I was reading.
I was thinking he was just closely admiring me. Nathan was just intensely staring down his camera.
No, I wasn't. I was reading something. This is every fucking hell. What's going on, man? These episodes. Look, I'm sorry, but these are getting too long.
It's kind of outrageous at this point, isn't
it? This is everyone's favorite section of the show where we get to take a chance to look back on some of the weird and wonderful and grubby little characters who come across our screens each and every week. This week, I am going to ask you, who is your weirdo that you were celebrating this week, Lawrence?
It's the guy who bricks the Dalek.
All right, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so he breaks the Dalek. I just love the false confidence on this man to be like, I'm not having this, and then he doesn't make a run for it. He doesn't like get his wife and his child to safety. Like he kind of just goes.
It's 2 kids.
Has he got 2 kids?
Yeah, it's no wife, 2 kids.
No, he's definitely there's definitely a wife there.
No, that's his daughter. She was like 12.
I swear he had a wife.
No,
because I swear he says like someone grab the kids, get back in the house.
No, I think he just says to the kids, get back. I need to go back now.
Go to the tape for weirdo.
I need to, but I'm almost certain it's 2 kids. I tell you what, it's difficult to tell.
What, from the viewing standpoint?
Yeah, because it could be a teenage daughter, but it could also be his wife. So this girl could be anywhere from 15 to 40.
Maybe this guy's a weirdo for all the wrong reasons. All right.
I always thought it was his daughter, but now I'm not sure that you've said this. It very much could be his wife and son. I'm looking at it now, it probably is his wife, actually.
Look, either way, right? He doesn't have a plan for his family. He just goes, get back in the house. I mean, you heard it.
If anything, he kills them.
Yeah, he dooms them. For no reason. He just goes, get back in the house. And like, what do? Just go in and sit on the sofa and think the Daleks will go, oh, fair's fair.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I guess we got nothing
Let's
to
leave
say
them
about it.
alone then, boys. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, it's just an insane level of like misplaced confidence. So he is a big weirdo to me.
All right. Fair enough.
Nathan, who is your weirdo?
My weirdo, Lawrence, is Sarah Jane Smith.
Okay, right, go on.
And
is it for having a
for
fizzy
this-
pop son?
Well, that is part of it, first of all.
Okay.
She does have a fizzy pop son. And when she first hears the Daleks coming over the speakers or whatever, and she gets a little bit scared because she knows what the Daleks are like, she immediately starts referring to her son in the past tense. As in, like, he's already dead in her mind. She immediately says he was so young. And hugs Luke while she's crying. Like, to her, he's already dead. And like, I know that's kind of the point, but it's also just a little bit weird that she's already talking about him in the past tense while he's very much alive and she's hugging him.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't instill any confidence in him.
No,
He's probably just like,
oh,
okay.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm only 1 year old. This isn't fair.
Yeah, so as far as Sarah's concerned, her son's already dead.
Yeah. That's pretty nuts. That's pretty wild. Not great parenting from Sarah Jane.
No, I think she's alright otherwise.
Did you know that the first episode of Sarah Jane Smith is actually not the first episode? It's apparently a special.
It is, yeah. I think it was a New Year's Day special.
It's weird, no?
Because I remember watching it like 6 months or something before the show actually came out.
It's a weird way to premiere a show.
I guess.
Unrelated. Anyway, Nathan, this is the part of the show where we get to hear what the good people think, right? Nathan has compiled a list of tweets and a list of emails that we have received. What we do is Nathan tweets out on our Twitter at StillGotLegsPod what episode we're going to be talking about, and you can have your say. You can email us at the email is stillgotlegspodcast@gmail.com, or you can respond to the tweet, let us know your thoughts on the episode, and we're going to hear what the good people have to say right now.
And you don't have to listen to this.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome to call it a day, leave, scrub forward to the ad. Oh, fuck, we didn't do the ad. I keep forgetting that. Anyway, tweets first. This is from Batoffi Pie at that Toff. One of my favorite Dalek intros. Elizabeth Sladen shines whenever she's on screen, plus one of the best cliffhangers up to that point. And to top it off, there was no preview of the following episode. I was watching Torchwood and Sarah Jane Adventures at the time, and this felt like the Avengers. It's just a shame the following episode, Torchwood and Sarah Jane crew don't have anything to do. Would have been great to see a special Torchwood ep of them helping people in Cardiff defend against the Daleks. Missed opportunity just to seal those characters off. I think that's fair. Yeah. As an episode of like a Torchwood where they actually do deal with this would have been quite cool. But
yeah, because I like because
we could see this, but with more effing and jeffing.
Yeah, and shooting people in the head.
And shooting people in the head, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to see it like on their show. I think it's because they wrote it into Doctor Who that they were like, I don't want to spoil it for next week, but like the Torchwood team are pretty confined. So I understand why they're not doing much in Journey's End, but it would be, yeah, it is a missed opportunity. I'm not sure how much Luke could do by himself.
Well, maybe Clyde could come around with his mum.
That's true, yeah. With his mum, and that's safe. Clyde and his mum are safe. Yeah, I think
get K9 out of the cupboard with a black hole in it.
Yeah, that's true. K9 could lend a hand.
Yeah.
Finally get some use out of K9. I'd like to see that. It is a bit of a missed opportunity that they didn't just kind of write a one-off for these two shows.
Great. Damn the Lamb at Damn the Lamb says, the week after this episode aired may have been the longest week of my life because of that cliffhanger. What an absolute banger start of the finale. Rip Harriet Jones, former Prime Minister, a problematic queen. She was a problematic queen, that is true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
She committed genocide.
She did. Yeah, and I'm starting to rethink my stance on defending her earlier on.
You love her.
I do.
And everything she ever did.
A marvellous woman. I voted for her.
No, you didn't. Because she's fictional.
Yeah, it's true. She's
and
not
you
real.
Wasn't old enough. And you wasn't old enough.
That's the primary reason.
Yes. Robert Vasquez at RW Vasquez. I've always loved how the title sequence seems to have absolutely no time to rest on any name and the complete surrender to their fate every companion has at the sound of the Daleks. Yeah, I love that too. That's pretty cool.
That's very cool.
You forget how terrifying they are until Sarah Jane talks about her son in the past tense. 10 out of 10. There we go.
Very good.
The man, the myth, the legend, Greg Cactus Face at G Cactus Face says, in baseball, professional players often steal bases, brackets, run to the next one when nobody's looking, although it is much easier to follow the player's path than the path of the planets stolen by the Daleks. During this episode, Wilf shoots a creature, in this case a Dalek, in the face. In real life, if a horse breaks a leg and they are shot in the face... in real life, if a horse breaks a leg, they are shot in the face. Sadly, shooting a horse in the face with a bullet is more effective than shooting a Dalek with a paintball. That is true.
So we've merged these jokes now, have we?
No, those are two separate tweets.
Oh, okay. Right.
Yeah, I just read them out together.
I see.
I've copy and pasted them in my Google. I have a Google Doc now. I don't know if you know.
I did not know this. Yeah, good job.
I've they're together, but yeah, those are two separate tweets.
Who's shooting a horse in the face? I know who it might be.
You. Magnanimous Planet Hoarder.
Yep.
At Soupy Soup Brain. As a child of the Moffat era, I think some of my hype around Torchwood and Sarah Jane being included in this is lost on me. But by the end of this episode, excitement is always through the roof. A fitting high-octane RTD era finale. If only the end of time was even half as good as this.
Disagree. I think the end of time is a banger.
I will keep my opinions reserved until that episode comes up, but I am very much looking forward to discussing.
I'm excited to rewatching it. I think there's certain aspects of it that are incredible, and there's probably some silly points.
I will keep my opinions reserved until we watch that episode.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Pierce Moore at Pierce McMoore says the acting during the Dalek reveal from everyone is some of the most chilling in all of DW IMO. Doctor Who, in my opinion. I absolutely love it. It surprises me that the subwave is never seen again, AFAIK, as far as I know. It feels like it could have been easily overused as a plot device. Glad the writers didn't overdo it. Yeah, that's fair. That's quite good that we like one and done this sort of shit. Like,
yeah,
we don't need this subwave X machina sticking around.
It's like it's these kind of things are good for a season. Like Martha leaving the Doctor her phone. Like it's good to see Martha then use it in the next season. But if Martha then phoned the Doctor for every season afterwards, being like, "There's a problem back on Earth," like it's just a lazy way of getting the Doctor to Earth, basically.
I mean, you don't need a lazy way of getting the Doctor to Earth.
He fucking loves Earth.
Most episodes just open with him being on Earth.
He's like, I'm on Earth, so, yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to write in some gratuitous way to get him here.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm glad this didn't show up again. Also, like, it'd be kind of redundant now, because it would just be fucking...
It'd be
FaceTime.
Static.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. We've all got FaceTime.
Yeah, like, all of these people could just ring each other when they wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that's true. I guess video calling wasn't really a thing at all.
I thought that's what you were getting at when you said Harriet Jones invented Zoom.
Maybe.
Maybe you just didn't even know you were cooking with gas.
Oh, I think Skype was a thing back then, but
was it for group chats, though? Group calls?
No, I don't think for group calls. No. This was and Skype was like video calling was seen as like a weird luxury somehow.
Oh, you can afford a webcam, can you?
Not even that. Like whenever like there was like I always think of the example in Friends when like Monica is dating Jon Favreau, and he plays a very rich character in Friends, and like they go to his apartment and he's so rich he has a video phone.
Whoa.
So that's how they know he's rich. He can talk to people through a video. Like,
did they cost more back in the day? Like,
I guess they did.
Fucking hell, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you are then. Yeah. Well, I guess you could say we're both rich now then.
Yeah.
With our video phones.
Oh, but is it like a video landline phone though?
I wouldn't want that. That seems intrusive.
I want a landline.
Yeah, but that's also true. That feels pointless.
I don't have one.
I still laugh when forms make you fill out a landline form, and I'm like, nope. Just write my
Don't have
mobile
a
number in
landline
again.
mate. Yeah. I just got to put my mobile in twice.
And if you tell me that number's already been in a different field, then it's just someone else's mobile number.
Thank you, P.S. Moore. Rach at Seating Strange, maybe Sighting Strange. I was earning around 20k in central London from around 2019 to 2021. Can confirm it's basically impossible not to end up in debt, and that was before the Cosy lives. Sylvia's job proposal is confirmed shite. Thank you, Rach. This is, of course, following on from our conversation last week about Donna's wages. Yeah, just as before, just not feasible.
Not feasible at all. Completely and utterly impossible, yeah.
Yeah, so there we go. That's all the tweets I have on my Google Doc, but I think we have had a few more since I compiled them over, so let me just go to Twitter and just double check.
Reading them raw.
Fucking straight up raw dogging it. Marky Moo at Marky Moo1 says has to be one of my favorite episodes of all time. There you go. It's a good fun episode, I will say that. Alan Penguin at a penguin with says, oh wait, which one comes first? It'll be this one. 2 tweets. During this episode, Dalek Khan is portrayed using practical effects, and Dalek Khan feels part of its surrounding world blended in perfectly. Yeah, I will say the Dalek Khan, like the puppet, it looks so good. We've already touched upon that, but genuinely looks amazing.
Did they use any? Do you know if they used any like visual enhancements, like for the breathing?
I don't think so. I think it was all practical.
Oh, no, they use the air tubes, don't they?
They use the little pump things to like blow it up and stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's looked great since season 1. They really know what they're doing.
Yeah, it was gross. It was like, but like in a good way, like slimy and gross and stuff. Yeah. In Garfield 2004, CGI was used to portray a similar fantasy creature. Unfortunately, Garfield contrasts significantly with the practical nature of the majority of the film, looking completely out of place. So Alan is basically saying doesn't look as good as Garfield. No, Garfield looks shit compared to this Dalek, which I think that's fair.
Yeah. I can't say I have a point of reference in my mind for it, but I'll take your word on it.
Jared Coastal says this is the 750th episode of Doctor Who.
Oh wow!
Fun fact. That's a lot of episodes that we have to get through.
Oh my god! Oh shit! Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Fuck.
So that's good to know.
At least we know this podcast doesn't have a shelf life. Like
that's true. Yeah. And then Kendall Roy's sad pointy ears at Tortoise Bill has simply said mid.
That's kind of how we felt about it earlier, I guess. Like it's a banger episode, but it's not doing a lot.
It's not. No, again, it suffers from part 1 syndrome.
Yeah.
It's like it's really there's not much to it in terms of like it's all set up and stuff. So
is that a wind up on you as well? Because they know you hate the word mid.
Maybe. Yeah. I do hate the word mid. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I don't know if I've said that on this podcast though. That feels like more of another Happy Pod thing.
It probably does.
Maybe. I am wrong. Anyway, on to emails. Ramona Harrison. New Year, same old pod. Dear Nathan and Lawrence. While traveling around over the Christmas period, I decided to re-listen to old episodes of the pod, and despite saying in my last email that Lawrence has the better Doctor Who opinions,
fuck off.
Upon re-listening, I was reminded of all his dog shit takes about the screwdriver.
Is this your burner? Is this you?
No, I'm sticking to my guns though, because Nathan, you got my name wrong. Hashtag Team Lawrence.
Good.
Also, in Rise of the Cybermen, you talk about whose age you are closer to. So I wish you a happy year where Nathan is closer to Jackie's age. Great. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, never mind. This is definitely not Nathan's burner.
You also talk about the midnight episode like it's way off in the future. So congrats on hurtling through time like a real time traveler.
Oh my gosh!
Wow, thank you. Brutal. This one.
This is fucking. This is making me feel old.
I also enjoyed the brief interlude in Bad Wolf to call Nathan's mum. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
Yeah. If you're ever thinking about doing a special, I would love to hear from your parents about any obsessive Doctor Who fan stuff you did as kids/teens. As I thoroughly pissed you both off, I will give you this bit of ammunition. You can tell I've been playing Grand Theft Auto. Yeah. In the early seasons of the show, I had a corner of my closet dedicated to the Doctor Who paraphernalia I owned, which my parents would call a shrine, but I would argue was collecting it in an easy-to-reach place. Listening to that episode of The Graham Norton Show with Peter Capaldi, where they read out some of his childhood letters to the BBC, brought flashbacks back to a much younger and nerdier me. May your Doctor Who viewing experiences be a pleasant one. Ramona Harrison, not Harris. Sorry if I'm sounding antagonistic. I really do love the pod. Thank you very much, Ramona. That's very sweet. That's very cool. I apologize for getting your name wrong. I feel like you got me back with all that bullying about my age, but you know.
I feel like you should both draw a line in the sand now and move on from it. But yeah, my opinions on the Sonic aren't dog shit. They are accurate, I think.
No, they're not.
They are.
They're bad.
They are, and I think everyone agrees with me, apart from Ramona.
I don't think anyone agrees with you.
Thank you for listening to old episodes of the podcast as well. That's very kind.
That really helps with ad money.
It does.
Thank you.
Fucking cha-ching.
Actually, I don't know if it does. I don't know if we put them on the older ones.
Barely. Not noticeably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, we haven't added any mid-rolls to the old ones, have we?
No, yeah. Taylor James, inflation. Evening, gents. I hope this is about the financial inflation and not the weird kink. Evening, gents. Just a couple of things.
I learned too much from being friends with you. I don't know what this means.
Oh, you're too innocent, man.
No, I'm not.
You are.
Just read the fucking email.
Just a couple of things to pick up on from
like
Turn
our
Left
March. Like,
episodes.
what do you mean by inflation?
That's a kink.
But how does someone be inflated? How does that work?
Don't worry about it. You're not ready. First, I ran a calculation for inflation from 2008, and 20k would have been around 31k back then. So pretty good for a secretary role, but then again, London waiting, so maybe it's not so great. Yeah, I think 30k is more manageable in London, but still not great at all. Like,
yeah. If you're living in central London,
yes,
30k is like that's a decent salary. It's still not enough.
I've been earning around about 30k, and I live in the north of England. And let me tell you, I have struggled at times. Like it's well, things are fucked, but yeah, it's not that easy. I also do enjoy when you dip into current politics here and there. All I can say on that matter is fuck the Tories. Hey. Yes,
a listener
fuck the
after
Tories.
our very own heart.
Indeed. This episode for me is easily the best out of the trilogy, brackets but not quite, finale episodes. These last two are good but not great, so I'm interested to hear your thoughts on them. Finally, I'm looking forward to picking back up with episodes again as I speed run through season 4 after my first email to you, so I've been holding off to pick back up with the Matt Smith era. So I'm watching along as all episodes come out. Fave Doctor and era, so I'm excited to get back into that and see if it holds up. Also, G Cactus Face, never ever stop. Beautiful stuff.
That's I thank you for waiting as well. That's genuinely really cool. I think it's
that is very cool.
Something we've done this before where we've both shotgunned shows and stuff, and I genuinely think that I get a deeper appreciation for Doctor Who specifically waiting a week to week to watch them. Like
we have now been watching it week to week for a year.
Yeah.
Now,
and that's great. I think.
It's wild to me. It's great. But it's also frustrating because especially this last week, I've really just wanted to just watch an episode of Doctor Who and just watch the finale. But I'm like,
but you garner that appreciation for it by putting yourself back as you were when you were younger and like having to wait the week.
Yes, but still frustrating sometimes.
I'm not saying it's not, but it's definitely fun. And yeah, anyone else that's doing it, let us know if you are waiting for us week to week or if you just know the show backwards and have tuned in. I'm curious who's on the actual journey with us and who's kind of tapping in and out.
Same. James Allen, Stolen Earth, what a banger. Now then, boys. Just wanted to write in and express how much of a certified banger this episode is. It might upset some people.
Sorry about
that. As an 11-year-old who watched all 3 shows religiously, to see Doctor Who, Torchwood, and Sarah Jane Adventures combined together blew my tiny brain. I think that RTD even said that was his goal when writing it. Write it from a child's perspective on what they would want to see in terms of a crossover. I do remember being slightly disappointed at the time, however, as before this aired and the title had been announced, a leaked script appeared online that mentioned, amongst other things, that Harriet Jones had turned against the Doctor and she was the Red Dalek in the episode. My tiny...
What?
Harriet Jones was the Supreme Dalek in this leaked script, apparently. My tiny, stupid 11-year-old brain thought this was the coolest shit, and I remember running and telling my grandma, who obviously did her best to pretend she, A, has a clue what I was chatting about, and B, gave a shit what I was chatting about. When the episode aired, this was not the case. I was slightly disappointed. But since I'm no longer a stupid 11-year-old nerd, I'm a stupid 26-year-old nerd, I can truly appreciate the nerdy brilliance. Been binging the pod since November and finally caught up. The week's wait is now killing me. If you ever release an episode shorter than 2 hours again, I will kill myself. Wow, okay. Well, now I feel conflicted, Lawrence. I don't want to kill her, man. Thank you, Jay.
Sorry, no one will ever... Like that, I won't be able to describe to anyone how priceless it was reading Nathan. Nathan's eyes naturally scan ahead as you're reading, as most people's do. And to watch him realise what he was about to have to read was very fun.
Yes. Wow. Okay.
kill
Well, you're in luck
myself.
because we're already at 2 hours 41 minutes on this episode, mostly because Lawrence insisted on mentioning every single fucking second.
You say this, but like that will tally up to less than 5 minutes, won't it? I think it's because you wouldn't let it go that I want a shock regeneration. You were like, no, for 10 minutes.
We was talking about it. We was having a discussion.
Yeah, I know we were. Well, you blame me. I wanted to blame you.
Okay. Well, then blame me with a point that makes sense.
Fine.
This is from David with the Talking Pictures podcast. Side note, I actually listened to this podcast today.
Ooh.
Actually,
Are you trying to make me look bad? What's that about?
You are bad. You should have listened to David's podcast, Lawrence. You're a bad host.
That's fucking nasty to do that to me.
Yeah. No, I did. I actually listened to it. Beautiful Irish boy. He and his co-host, they have a pair of beautiful Irish accents.
What's the title of the pod? I'm adding it to my follow list now.
Talking Pictures podcast. There's a few that show up though. So like,
what's the logo?
I found it through the Twitter. The logo it's like a clapperboard and it says Talking Pictures podcast.
Oh yeah, I see it.
You got it? The blue one?
Yes, kind of like a teal-y blue.
Yes, that's the one.
I have followed.
I listened to the episode, like their most anticipated for 2024. It was a good fun episode. I had a good time.
Look at these episodes.
They keep
man,
their
like 58 minutes, 48.
I was just gonna say, yeah, they keep them concise, not like us. It's fucking almost 3 hours extravaganza here. Fucking hell. David says, "Hi guys, I'm sure you've beaten me to the punch by calling this the Infinity War of Doctor Who. We have. Great to see everyone back, from former companions to the Torchwood gang, and even Harriet Jones, former Prime Minister. Yes, we know who she is. The two things I will bring up in this episode I have to commend it for is that it does a great job of making the Daleks feel scary again. Not through any of their actions, but rather through the reactions of the companion like Sarah Jane and Captain Jack. The fear in their eyes as they realise what they're up against makes the Daleks feel like a real threat, which is a great lead up to 10 being shot by one finally." Finally, I like that. In all the years of Doctor Who, with the Daleks being his most iconic enemy, finally one has done the impossible and shot the Doctor, forcing him to regenerate. I've just realised my second point is a spoiler, so we'll have to be saved for next week. A cliffhanger for sure, but not nearly on the level that Russell presents to us. Can't wait to see how the next Doctor resolves this story. Best, David, Talking Pictures podcast, #Justice for Martha. There we go.
Very good. I can't wait to check out the podcast, and I too can't wait to see how Matt Smith will resolve this scenario next week.
You keep saying Matt Smith.
It's Matt Smith next week.
Is it?
He's regenerated, isn't he?
I thought the next Doctor was David Morrissey. That took me a while.
Well, Nathan. Fucking 2 hours and 45 minutes. Let's go. Let's go.
Billy Who, Stolen Earth. Not Billy Who's Stolen the Earth. just Billy Who, subject line Stolen Earth. Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Dear Nathan and Lawrence from the formerly Docky Who. I'm writing this after hearing your episode on Turn Left, a banger, by the way, even if you don't want compliments. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And it never occurred to me that I'm forcing Nathan to read all of my ramblings. So as a gift, here's a space for him to say anything he wants. Lawrence, shut up. That's me talking, not Billy Who. That was actually written out, I will say. Okay, so now that Nathan has finished saying whatever... Oh, okay. What should I say? I'm on the spot.
The platform's yours.
Fuck the Tories.
There we go. And most of that would have had to have been cut, because I think most of it was just...
It was too political.
Yeah, just slurs and...
Yeah. No! Come on. Okay, so now that Nathan has finished saying whatever he wanted, fuck the Tories, I have science thoughts. What is a subwave? Here we go.
Oh, fuck. Just give me a ballpark of how many words this looks like.
Oh, Lawrence, I don't know.
Okay.
It's like 4 more paragraphs.
Fucking hell. Okay, all right, hang on. Let me get comfy. Alright, go on.
The episode establishes it was developed by the Mr. Copper Foundation, the same Mr. Copper who had money at the end of Voyage of the Damned. So that's pretty cool. Online, the subwave is said to just be below normal waves, but what is a normal wave? As Nathan knows, the wave spectrum ranges from around 10 to the minus 12 meter wavelength gamma rays, all the way up to about 10 to the 3 meter wavelength radio waves, and encompasses everything from light to sound to the waves that heat popcorn in your microwave. There's nothing below waves, as Louis de Broglie, I don't know, proposed in his 1924 research that all matter and energy is made up of waves. The closest I can figure is that once again a possible candidate for quantum entanglement, which doesn't seem to rely on waves to communicate vast distances instantaneously and would require some kind of quantum computer to manufacture and produce the messages. Or, as always, Russell just liked the way it sounded. As always, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, as I'm, after all, just some idiot. Keep up the great work. Love the pod.
I don't think you're an idiot.
No, you're definitely not an idiot.
You sound like you're the opposite of an
You
idiot.
make us look like idiots every week, me specifically. Thank you very much for another science. I always love that it comes back to, or maybe Russell was just an idiot.
I do like this. I want to see. Is this a challenger? Is Catherine no longer the lead scientist of the pod?
Ooh, maybe. This is from Tom Monty at Still Got Thighs. Dear Nathan and Lawrence, you alright?
Why? Still
Why
got
not?
thigh.
That's the subject line.
Okay.
I love this two-parter, but I think the Stolen Earth is definitely the stronger of the two. I don't know about that one, Chief.
Yeah.
A few questions I have for you both regarding this episode. Wilf says that Sylvia didn't let him get a webcam on the laptop because they're naughty. What do you think Wilfred Mott would have gotten up to if he was allowed?
Wanking.
Porn. Oh, come on. You can't say that.
I can. And I will.
Well, I mean, I wasn't much better, but I wasn't as egregious and explicit as you. Horrible stuff. I think that's the implication.
Yeah, it's that. I think Sylvia's maybe seen a few promiscuous lady ads, like
a few hot singles in your area,
kind of thing, and take
MILFs in your area.
Yeah, and then they need you.
Yeah,
and I think she's put two and two together and gone, well, I'm not having my dad be chatting to these women on the phone.
Do what you want, man.
Yeah, I mean, like, the man's a veteran. If he needs a wank, he can have a wank.
Oh, fucking hell, Lawrence. Shut up, man. I can tell when you get to a point where you're too tired to care anymore. Because you're at that point now, and I can 100% tell. Did you hear that according to RTD, Harriet Jones actually survived her Dalek death and escaped through a track door in her living room and drove away on a motorbike? What did I fucking say, you little bitch?
You did say it, yeah.
Do you prefer this ending? I don't. As much as I love Harriet. I also don't, Tom. No, I don't think that's... It's very clear she died.
It removes the nobility of her sacrifice a little bit.
Yeah, 100% does. Yeah, it kind of ruins the moment. No, she definitely died as far as I'm concerned. When the Doctor got shot by the Dalek at the end, when he's running towards Rose, I always found it strange as to why the Dalek blast visual effect only lit up the left side of his body rather than his entire frame as it had been in every other on-screen extermination prior to this. Did you notice this? If so, why do you think this is? You might say the Doctor has two hearts, so it only blasted one of his hearts, but we all know that he can survive on one heart, and that blast was apparently enough to re-trigger a regeneration, so why not show his entire body being illuminated?
Because they didn't want to insta-death him.
Yeah, I think that's the case. I think because they want to get the message across that, first of all, we can't have the Doctor insta-die, so there needs to be a bit of time for the regeneration process to trigger. so they wanted to like to me it seemed like the blaster bolt hit like kind of his side, so it wasn't like a center kill shot. It was like a through the hip or whatever.
And you said
so
earlier the Doctor's got a bit of a natural strength to this.
Yeah, and he's a bit more stronger than just a human.
Yeah.
So I think all of that combined, and this is all just vague nonsense bullshit.
The real reason is they needed David Tennant to still be around to say I'm regenerating and everything else. Like,
yeah,
they could, like, because if he just insta died, he'd either be dead or he'd regenerate whilst unconscious, which.
But Tom's talking specifically about like why didn't his whole body like go negative?
Oh, but that's like, why, because that's the effect they use for when someone is stone cold dead. Yeah,
to show that it's not as intense as usual. Yeah, basically. Yeah. So that's what we think, Tom. I love the bit at the end where Gwen and Yanto open fire on the Dalek, and Gwen lets out an almighty roar. I've never heard anything quite like it. What do you think of that noise that she made? I love that moment.
It's great.
I love that when she's just screaming and shooting. Very Torchwood, first of all, but also just you can make a good cut with that, I reckon. Yeah. Just like the differences between like Sarah Jane, Doctor Who, and Torchwood, and it's like nice kid friendly Sarah Jane having fun, catching aliens and stuff. Hard cut to just screaming and shooting.
With some heavy metal music underneath it.
Yeah.
This is how Torchwood deals with the problem. No, I love that moment. It's just the human spirit of not wanting to go out without a fight, which I quite enjoyed.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. And last week you seemed interested as to where your audience is from, so I will now tell you. I am from Surrey in the UK, and I live in a huge castle just like Lawrence. Love from Tom Monty. You don't anymore. You did live in a huge castle when you lived with your parents. Your parents live in a huge castle still.
Yes, I do not.
You yourself have moved out of that castle. You're now slumming it like the rest of it.
I'm out here. Just I'm like Donna and the Noble family in Turn Left.
You're not.
No, I'm not.
Seeing your house, you're very much okay.
I'm all right. Yeah.
Yeah. 3-bedroom house, and you don't even have. You have one dog and no kids yet.
Yeah,
so.
It's true. So I've got the space. I could swing a cat. Is that the expression?
I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't.
Anyway, that's everything, Lawrence. That's all the people have to say this week. Thank you to everyone who wrote in. I know I promise that I will always read out every single email and letter and tweet we get no matter what, but maybe at some point I might have to rethink that.
Yeah, fucking hell. Added like an extra half an hour onto this episode.
But for now, it's all good, and I love hearing from everyone, so thank you very much. And again, if you want to let us know your thoughts on next week's episode, you don't have to wait for me to tweet it out. You can do it anytime if you email us at stillgotlegspod@gmail.com or tweet at us at anotherhappypod on Twitter. And look at that. Now you don't have to plug Twitter, Lawrence. You can go straight onto whatever the next one is.
That is phenomenal stuff. Nathan, we have another podcast, don't we?
We do. It's called Another Happy Pod. It's our pop culture show where every week we talk about something in that realm, whether it be a movie, TV show, or video game. We're back for the new year, and we're discussing the original trilogy of Star Wars. Kick it off with A New Hope, of course. So you can go listen to that on all podcast platforms, like the one you're listening to is on now. Yeah,
this is probably your preferred one if you're here. So
yeah.
That'd be great.
Probably.
We're probably there too. That is everything. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next week. Just remember, this was an almost 3-hour episode. So if
is that everything?
I think that's everything. The Twitter, we've done Twitter. We've done
is it?
Twitter. We've done the pod. You've said people can have their say.
Yeah, I wonder if we have any reviews.
Oh, you might be right, Nathan. Yeah, I apologise. We might actually have a few reviews.
Plumbing the Death Star, more like Plumbing the Death Spa, because I like to kick back and listen to these three boys anytime and anywhere. 5 stars. The joke there is that was a review for Plumbing the Death Star.
Fantastic news.
Still got it. A wonderful podcast about a 60-year-old show that goes off on various bizarre tangents at the drop of affairs. A must listen for me every week, especially as this review is read out every week. Never stop, and I never will. There we go.
That's everything. Thanks for listening, guys. See you next week.
God, you're a cunt. This is your fault, remember?
What is 3 hours?
For scheduling both podcasts back to back.
thank you very, very much for listening again. We will look forward to speaking to you. Oh, okay. Fuck's sake.
Bye, love you.